The following is a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic High School football is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Kemin, Mercy One, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Bows on the Floors. Thank you for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio and Dowling Catholic football.
And good evening and welcome to Johnston Stadium as we get set for high school football tonight. Week number 3, it's Dowling taking on the Johnston Dragons. Mark Hemedill joined by John Chido, and the third guy in the booth with me this year in 3 games, Mr. Matt Maindring, the principal. Yeah. Welcome back to the program, sir.
Great to be back and for kick off another year.
No, we are just barely below the fog line here at Johnston. We're so up in the air, up in this press box, that fog line is – we may have to go to our sideline guy, Mr. Johnny Chido, more tonight with his companion, the umbrella guy, Mark Scigliano. We may have to – that's the third time Skig's been in a game this year.
I've noticed that.
Johnny?
He's becoming more popular than Bob Costas at this point, Mark.
I thought it was just the tent in Indianola that propelled him, but now last week he was the only Dowling guy on the Valley sideline, and that worked out pretty well. And now tonight he's here holding the umbrella. Is that what are you going to have him do down there? Because he's going to have to be your color guy if we get fogged out up here.
Well, he's the extra he's the extra set of eyes that will be needed with the fog, especially – my eyesight, as you guys know, is not the best.
Johnny has a nickname, Matt. We'll just leave it up here in the press box. But, yeah, he does. But welcome back, Matt.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Good to see you. What did you think of last week's game? Did it sound all right? Was the final score? Did I give the final score enough times?
You did. I think you got it. It was quite a game to watch and see unfold the way it did, and you just didn't expect it. But, Dowling got the momentum early and just never gave Valley a chance to gain any momentum. No big mistakes, and it was total control up front, which was surprising.
And you say that, and Giant Maroons didn't give up big plays. And that'd be a key to any game. You don't give up big plays, especially with all their, the firepower that Valley has offensively with receivers, running backs, and their quarterback. And Dowling didn't give up a big play defensively.
No, they didn't. And going back to the state title game last year, we talked in pregame about who was going to get out of their routine first is the one that was going to be in trouble. And because both these two teams, Valley and Dowling, going back to last week, are routine teams. They like to control the game, do what they do best. Mm-hmm. And we saw last week, Dowling stayed the course. Valley, offensively at least, they were able, like you guys said, they were unable to get anything going. And so they kind of got out of the routine. And by the time we looked, it was 22-0, and it's hard to come back from something like that.
Yeah, two offensive touchdowns with the offense in the field and the special teams touchdown with Louis Brooks, a 53-yard punt return. All in the first half, Matt. Second half was a defensive game for both teams. Both defenses pitched the shutout, but Dowling lost their starting center in the second half, and that kind of adjusted things for the Dowling offensive line. And I think Coach will hear in the pregame or here in the conversation I had with him yesterday, Coach Wilson of Dowling, saying that they kind of just kept the ball on the ground and tried to grind the clock. And if Valley needed to score, well, they'd open their playbook a little bit better, but they didn't have to. And they got the first downs when they needed to.
They did. And the thing was, in the game as it started, usually expect Dowling establishes what they're going to do by running the football, and doing that. Now it was that quick passing game, and I don't think Valley was ready for that coming out of the chutes because we didn't see it at Indianola.
No, exactly right.
And so then, Dowling comes out and establishes that, and then gets them on their heels a little bit, and all of a sudden, the ball started moving, and then the second half, it became more of a grinded-out game and playing conservative and playing with 22-point leads a little bit easier.
Yeah,
a lot easier.
Absolutely.
And to hold on to that 22-point lead in the second half.
How well the defense was playing, the defensive line, and getting after the quarterback.
Well, the Maroons, you mentioned the passing attack. Louis Brooks, one of the captains, leading receiver from last year. He and Koa Thompson used that flanker position. And then Mac Anderson came into his own against Valley, had some great catches. But a young man who hasn't come into his own yet, we're hoping to, Carson Brown, another receiver. He backs up Mac Anderson. We may see him a little bit more tonight, and we'll see how that goes. But tonight's a night for the running game. And tonight's the night to be on a turf field, not a grass field, because they're going to get ate up. A lot of rain here in central Iowa, over 4.5 inches since Monday, and that has torn up a lot of grass fields. Luckily tonight we're here at Johnston, and we have the field turf.
Yeah, it's you go back 10 years, and all of a sudden these games get real ugly in a hurry. And it does, but it starts in the trenches. No matter what, when you get weather like this, it comes down to turnovers and line of scrimmage play. And that was probably the most impressive thing last week was how Dowling controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, offensively and defensively. You just wouldn't have expected that.
No, you're exactly right. You know what I'm kind of looking at this week is coming off that Valley Dowling week. If you go back to last year, we struggled with Johnston. A lot of credit is Johnston's a good ball team. Don't get me wrong, but coming off that rivalry game into this game is Dowling going to be flat? Are they going to be as hungry as they were last week?
It's funny you say that, Johnny. Yeah. I talked to Coach Wilson about that. The week after the Valley Dowling game, whether you win or lose,
right.
We've lost the last couple of regular season games to them. Or Dowling's lost them, and then the next week, okay, you got to get focused for your next opponent, whoever that may be. And this is a so-called could-be trap game for Dowling because next week Waukee comes to town, and they got a huge win over Ankeny last week, a second-ranked team. That was big for their program last week. You can't look past tonight in Johnston. Dragons are 1-1. They played us tough last year. Well coached under Coach Brian Woodley. We beat them 17-7. Dowling a winner last year at Valley Stadium. Maroons led 14-0 at halftime and got outscored 7-3 in the second half. So that's the kind of Johnston team you're going to see tonight.
It was really flat game, if I remember right. It was just it started out good and it was a lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes, and the second half was not a good half for Dowling.
No, it certainly wasn't. But tonight the Dowling defense, they came to play last week. The offense hopefully will get more involved. They had a couple touchdowns early, but defensive line, Pettis, Patton, and Pearson. And Pettis and Pearson are the two of the four returning starters, and they have made things miserable, Johnny, for the opposing offenses that Dowling's faced.
Yeah, Jalen Pettis, I can't say enough about his play and how he performed last week. And a lot had to do with Max Deary on his blitzes and the combination that him and Jalen both ran. And you throw Russell Pearson in there, too, with that senior experience because he's had 2 more years experience than Jalen Pettis did. Mm-hmm. That's a tough defensive line to go up against. They're fast, they're quick. They're not the biggest guys, but they get after it. And wow, they were impressive against that Valley team with a 4-star running back that's going to Kansas State, 4-star quarterback that's going to Kansas State. Hats off to
some more blitzing than normal.
Yeah,
and by blitzing, what that does is it isolates Pettis. If you're going to double team Pettis, then you're going to give up something on the blitz. And so it created more one-on-one matchups for someone like Jalen and Russell Pearson and Chase Patton up front. And then if you're going to double, then all of a sudden Deary's coming late off the edge. Yep. And that was one of the advantages of watching on TV. I did want to hit rewind a couple times. But,
isn't it nice to have that option? Because I sit down on the sideline. I wish I want to look up at the scoreboard, and I'm waiting for the replay, but nothing there.
I'll have to see if they'll get it up here tonight at Johnston, as we're at their beautiful facility. This is year 3 that they've been open, and it's phenomenal. Well, we're going to go to our tape with head coach Tom Wilson here after this next break. The one thing before we go to break is the injury report. Lynch is still out, the Dowling tight end, a captain out at tight end tonight. Jake Olson, the center, out with an ankle injury he suffered last week. And Ralston Rumley, the backup, one of the backup linemen who they rotate in, out for another couple weeks with the injured hand. Defensively, Carson Boyle out again, the starting starting corner, rather, and Peyton Johnson out for the year with an ACL. He was one of the backup linebackers. So those are never good. 5 on the injured list tonight coming here, and 2 of them are captains. And that's something you never want to see, Matt, is two of your 4 captains out.
Yeah, your lifeblood, but it's that opportunity for those kids to show their leadership in a different manner. And, they're a couple great kids, and they're going to provide the support for the guys on the team in the way they need to on the sidelines and help the team get better.
All right, it's Dowling and Johnston here at Johnston High School. The rain has stopped. Got a little mist, drizzle, and a lot of fog that's trying to set in. Other games going on tonight. Number 2 Southeast Polk is at 10th-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy. That game will kick off at 7:30. Everything else is a 7 o'clock start. West Des Moines Valley is idle tonight. They take on number 2 Southeast Polk next week at Southeast Polk. Council Bluffs Lincoln is at number 5 Urbandale. 7th-ranked Waukee at Ankeny Centennial. That's a game on CISN tonight. Number 8 Ankeny at Fort Dodge. Western Dubuque of Epworth at Indianola. That's a 6 o'clock start, so they're all just about ready to go to half. And Ottumwa's at Winterset, and Cedar Rapids, Washington at Marshalltown. So that's the games going on in Class 4A tonight. We'll take a break along with Matt Mandring and John Chido. I'm Mark Amadale from Johnston High School. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. It's Dowling and Johnston. Up next, head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic. I caught up with him, talk about last week's matchup with Valley and this week's matchup with the Johnston Dragons here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Dowling Catholic Sports 365 is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic with 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling Catholic graduate, and Dr. Todd Pedig. The Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at Ashworth and 60th Street in West Des Moines, 515-440-4610, online at ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
CPCustomHomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
And welcome back to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale now joined by Dowling football head coach Tom Wilson before tonight's game. Dowling at Johnston tonight. And Coach, thanks for joining us, and best of luck to Maroons.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, Coach, we talked to you last week after the victory over Valley, and, the Valley-Dowling game is memorable. The kids get up. It's a great week of practice for you because you know that you got the kids' attention. But it's the week after, whether you win or lose, do you have their attention? And it's Johnston tonight. Johnston, pretty decent team. They gave you fits last year. But it's also looking ahead to next week for Waukee. So I hope that's not going on. But you're the guy that's involved with all that. Your thoughts on this week and preparing for a big game against Johnston?
I really think our kids have done a nice job. I mean, they've been fairly focused. We've basically had 3 days in the rain for our preparation, but we were outside each day, and the kids made it fun for themselves. Now, if you'd asked them, I'm sure there's many other things that they'd rather be doing than standing out getting soaked. But they did a nice job, and it doesn't make offense look very good sometimes. But I felt our kids got better, and I've been pleased with their mindset.
Well, and that's based on, you look back at last week's game with Valley, a 22-0 win. First shutout for Dowling against Valley in over 20 years, and obviously something that, Dowling's back. People were wondering, are they back? Well, I think so, and I think it's just a process, and tonight's another part of that process. In a 7-game regular season, you don't have a chance to evaluate 9 games. Now it's down to 7. But let's talk about the offense. That first half was some big plays, some tremendous offensive line play, and then your skills really stepped up and executed.
They did. They really did a nice job. I think obviously everybody knows about Louis and what he brings to the table for our offense, but Mac Anderson was basically able to show what all of us in practice already knew, and he's a good player, and I thought the quarterbacks did a nice job. Steingraber is very much in control of the offense, and he doesn't have the strongest of arms, but as you can see on the longer pass to Mac that got us down in the red zone, it was certainly strong enough. And, there were times, as you mentioned, we did a pretty decent job at the line of scrimmage. I think of the push when Schwager ran it in for a touchdown, which was very good. And then, once Olsen went down, things just really we weren't very much in sync in the run game. And so that caused us some issues. But fortunately, we had the lead, and we could milk some clock at that time and really stay patient because we had so much confidence in the defense.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jake Olsen, your starting center, going down with an ankle injury. Hopefully he'll be back here, not so much tonight, but maybe next week. And Caleb Saylor had to step up, and I know, there's a reason why there's a number 1 and a number 2, but Caleb stepped up. I know he's been going against the number 1 defense at times and some of the looks, so he got a taste of varsity action early.
Well, he did, and he was pretty wide-eyed when he went in. But really, he came in and did a good job, and not enough can be said for just okay, let's get a decent snap and get this thing going. And Caleb was able to do that for us, and He'll play better tonight. He's got a little bit of action. He got a full week of preparation with the ones, and was able to see all the different looks. So he'll play better tonight, and we certainly need him to.
Well, defensively, Coach, another stellar game out of that defensive unit. And as I was telling Dave Marcoulé and John Chido during the broadcast last week, I said there's 6 or 7 guys that you got to try to figure out and talk about on the postgame show because they all stepped up. D-line, linebackers, and secondary all stepped up at big times to shut out a very stout Valley offense.
You're right, and it really took a team effort, and just can't say enough about those guys, the coaches, getting them prepared. They played with some passion, and that's what we've been waiting to see. And the defensive line was giving Valley some fits, and hopefully, that can continue. Obviously, Pettis gets noticed a lot, and really should. He's a good player. But those other guys, Russell Pearson's been a solid player for us for 2 years now and has done an outstanding job. Mata Brewall came in and gave us some great reps, and Chase Patton, he does a lot of the dirty work, so Pettis can look good. But we rotated, I think it was 10 guys in on the defensive line, so that's a good thing. Some of them young, some of them old, but they all did a nice job.
And your linebackers, again, led by your captain, Jack Meyer. Kriegshauser, we called his name a lot. Carson's having a tremendous year the first 2 games. Max Derry, he brings that wrestling mentality to that linebacking spot. And Will Herman, I think we forgot how many times we called their names, but that was all set up by your front 4.
You're right, and those guys, were outstanding. It felt like every time Bossum called a blitz, either Derry or Meyer were coming free. And you mentioned Kriegshauser, which I do think he's played very well, and Herman I thought was outstanding the other night. Austin Klein has played very well, and now we're using Jackson Langen and Jake Anderson in that back end as well. So the kids played great. Very proud of them. It says a lot about them and their willingness to get better. But as we all know, it's week 2, and now we're moving on to week 3.
Well, Coach, we mentioned quite a few names, but every week you get a chance to break down film with not only your assistants but yourself and some of the kids maybe we didn't mention on the radio, you didn't talk about. Who stood out in film that maybe kind of got unnoticed in that Valley Dowling game last Friday?
Well, we've talked a lot about that defense, and they've done a great job, but sometimes, we forget the dirty work. Cale Gokenauer in there, blocking, and, he knows he's nothing more than a glorified guard in our offense, and he continues to get better. I think Schwager's a really solid player for us, and you may not see it in the stat line with a bunch of yards, but he does some good things for us. So I think our offensive line has to continue to evolve. Gabe Carey's getting better and better. Dom Varelli has been consistent, so hopefully that group can continue to mesh and improve.
Well, Coach, and finally in this segment, injury report. Obviously, you got 2 captains out now. Jake Olson, your starting center, a captain, and Andrew Lynch will miss his second game, or actually 2.5 games now with an ankle injury. Your starting tight end, and then on defense, Carson Boyle did not play last week, and then a young sophomore who's been in the mix, Peyton Johnston, is now out for the year, injured in that JV game on Monday night. So the injuries get kind of starting to mount up with 5 of them.
Yeah, it is, and that's what we used to worry about. Now it's COVID and that, and it's unfortunate. Hopefully we get Lynch back and Olson back soon, and still waiting to see things on Boyle. And as you mentioned, Peyton Johnson done for the year, which is tough because he's going to be a good player someday. And we kind of had him on the fast track to help us sooner rather than later, but that's going to have to wait another year.
Visiting with head football coach at Dowling Catholic High School. It's Tom Wilson here on the pregame show. Dowling and Johnston tonight from the Johnston High School. This is Mark Hemmerdale, and I'll be back with more. Talk about tonight's matchup with Dowling and Johnston here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you, Dental Associates, for underwriting Dowling Catholic Sports 365. With over 40 years' experience, Dental Associates is a group dental practice with the mission of promoting optimum health and well-being to all patients, providing preventative, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry for the entire family. Message underwritten by Dr. Kenton Gleichman, Dr. Steve Karbaka, Dr. Christine Mulcahy, and Dr. Ben Nagel. Dental Associates, addressing your smile, needs, and dreams. Online at Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Kemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Kemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Kemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Kemin, using science to transform the world. Online at kemin.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel. Listen online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com or download the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
And welcome back to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale continuing my conversation with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic High School. It's Dowling at Johnston tonight. The Dragons come in at the record of 1-1. Dowling undefeated at 2-0 and newly anointed number one team in Class 4A. Congratulations on that, Coach. But tonight it's the Dragons. And I remember last year you got 14 points on them in the first half and got a field goal in the second half. And it was a dogfight. The defenses kind of took over. A 17-7 Dowling win, but it was a struggle, very physical game at Valley Stadium. But now we have the rematch this year, and Johnston's typical Johnston team. They're going to be very solid at a lot of positions. Your thoughts on the preparation this week for the Johnston Dragons?
Oh, you're right. They're a good football team, and they played Urbandale, who is a really good team as well. That first game, and they somewhat self-destructed. Special teams wise, and they were able to put up quite a few points in the second half, made it a game, and then Urbandale pulled away at the end. So then they beat Lumps on Lincoln last week, and so they're a good football team, and they're dangerous on offense. They've got a Division I tight end. Their quarterback played against us a year ago, and he looks like he's certainly benefited from that year of experience. They're going to try to run the football some, and hopefully we can contain that and then get after the quarterback. I think their skill is good. So offensively, they're going to present a challenge for us, and our kids will have to play well again. And hopefully we can neutralize their strengths, and that really kind of starts with the tight end.
Well, the tight end you're talking about is Tyler Moore, big kid, lined up as tight end, wide receiver, 6'5", 240, and a senior. And wears number 82, and he's already got a couple touchdown pass receptions this year after 8 catches, and leads the team in receptions. So he's somebody that be an interesting matchup for Coach Bossum and how he wants to handle that.
It is, and at 6'5", he's a mismatch for our guys, but hopefully pressure can neutralize some of that. And the quarterback, he gets flushed, and I think his natural reaction is to chuck it deep. So you have to stay in coverage. We're going to have to do a great job that way, and really it's going to come down to those guys up front, like we've talked about in the first segment, to do their job. So it allows us to create some turnovers.
And they have a couple tailbacks that'll see a lot of time. Hovey, number 5, and Tubbs, number 6, out of the backfield. But Aiden Moore also plays a lot, especially in the second half, I noticed, against Des Moines Lincoln, number 29. So they're going to bring a little bit of that speed to their ball club, along with the quarterback, who is their leading ball carrier so far.
No question. And really, most of his yards was on a quarterback sneak that they thought was stopped, and then it wasn't stopped. He was the only one that wasn't stopped. So Moore is a good player. I mean, we can talk about him a little bit more on the defense, but he started a year ago. He's a good player. You're right. They played him at running back. They've got number 5, number 6 that have played some as well. So it's a good offense. It's a good group. I don't think they get notoriety like Valley's did the week before, but that's part of what scares me is that our kids have to understand they're going to have to play well.
And defensively, another number 55 instead of Pettis for Dowling. How about Cade Kennan for Johnston? 6'2", 265, leads the team with 11 tackles in 2 games, and he's a force right there at nose tackle.
He is. He's a big kid. He'll be a tough matchup when he gets going. He's a load, and they like to move quite a bit in there, so it's not like you can tee off on him. So he'll be a good player. Their defensive ends are long guys, which obviously can create some issues, and I really like their linebackers, especially their inside backers.
Aiden Moore, who's a two-way player, running back, and one of the linebackers, number 29, Godwin, number 33, and Walker, number 4, are their other linebackers, and 2 of them are in the top 3 in tackling on this team. And you like to see that out of your linebackers, not your corners, but you like to see your linebackers and tackles being the leading tacklers.
Yeah, they're aggressive downhill guys, and they're going to bring it, which is a sign, obviously, of a good linebacking crew. And you start looking back into the secondary, and Helgeson is, he's probably known a little bit more as a wrestler, but he plays like it, and he's an excellent wrestler, and he's a really good football player. So we'll certainly know where he's at on the field as well.
Well, Coach, it's been a wet week. I'm sure it'll be a wet night as rain is forecast. You might even see a delay if they have the thunderstorms they're talking about and predicting. But your thoughts on the keys to Dowling tonight to be successful against this fine Johnston team?
Well, it's like I tell our kids every week. It's blocking, tackling, and discipline. That's really the game of football. And, you get in inclement weather like this, all of that starts rearing its ugly head even more. And ball security will be huge. Field position could be huge. Depends on what we get wind-wise. Typically at Johnston, wind can roll through there pretty well. So it could be a field position game, and a lot of times that ends up being special teams. So hopefully we can run the ball, mix in our pass game, and get things clicking, and then let our defense take over.
Coach Wilson, thanks for joining us tonight. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you at halftime and on the postgame show. Good luck against Johnston.
Thank you very much.
Head coach Tom Wilson has been my guest here on the pregame show. Dowling and Johnston tonight from Johnston High School. This is Mark Hemedale. Matt Maindring and John Chido rejoin the broadcast following these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts at the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
Thank you, Skeffington's Formal Wear, for sponsoring Dowling Catholic High School football. In business since 1951, Skeffington's Formal Wear offers quality service, style, and selection, providing tuxedos, suits, and casual groom attire for weddings, proms, and any other special occasion. Skeffington's Formal Wear, with convenient locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Davenport, Coralville, and Ankeny. All locations are family-owned and operated by members in their respective communities, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
And welcome back to Johnston Stadium. Mark Hemedale alongside Matt Maindring tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio. John Chido down on the Dowling sideline. It's Dowling and Johnston, week 3 of the high school football season. I want to give a shout-out to Bev Whipple, one of our favorite supporters. I know she lines you and Matt and you and Tom Wilson every week. You got some kind of goodies. I don't see them in the press box, but I see them. I understand they make their way through Mary Pook, and then she distributes them there.
They don't make it to the end of the day.
I didn't think so, but hey, thanks for sharing, and we got to give a shout out to her. John Chido, you're on the Dowling sideline tonight. Well, it's a little warmer tonight. It's in the lower 60s, as it's been in the 50s all week. Give us an update, John, from the sideline.
Well, the rain has stopped for now, Mark, and there is absolutely zero wind, so it's very calm. It's actually really good conditions for football because last week it was hot. A lot of guys were cramping up. I don't think you're going to have that problem tonight.
It doesn't look like it. The problem will be the fog. If that sets in and gets any lower, Matt and I are out, and you and Mr. Scigliano are in from the sideline.
Yeah, and right now it's good. Everything is out to the west, and down on the field it's gorgeous atmosphere here. This stadium is really, really nice.
All right, we got the captain's meeting. We're going to take a break and come back with the kickoff. It's Dowling and Johnston as the captains are out there with the coin toss. Mark Hemedale, Matt Maindring, and John Chido. The kickoff is next here on Iowa Catholic Radio. But first, a word from Dr. Ryan and our pregame prayer here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ryan, president of Dowling Catholic High School. Welcome to another season of exciting Dowling High School football. We are proud to be partners with Iowa Catholic Radio, not only broadcasting football, but also being partners in preparing Christ-centered leaders for life. Go Maroons!
Hello, my name is Father Ryan Andrew, and I'm the chaplain at Dowling Catholic High School. Let us pray for the coaches, players, and trainers tonight for this athletic competition. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your gifts. We ask you to bless all those involved in this athletic competition tonight. We ask that you keep them safe and that they all show good sportsmanship. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. All holy men and women, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Johnston Stadium. Mark Emmerdale alongside Matt Mainry, who's set for the kickoff. Dowling and Johnston. The Maroons will be wearing their visiting white uniforms with white helmets and maroon pants. Johnston in their all-purple uniforms with white numbers and white helmets. Dowling will kick off as Diego Leon will kick off from the 40-yard line and defend the south end zone here on a very damp night. But as John mentioned, Matt, the rain has held off for now.
Yeah, it's really pretty good weather. You know, you just hope you don't get like a Bears-Eagles game. That was a few years ago in the fog.
I remember that.
Dating myself a little bit.
I remember that, and it's been more than a few years ago.
Here we go.
All right, Leon, end-over-end kick, and back deep for Johnston. They'll field it at the 10-yard line. The Dragons on the return, and getting across the 20-yard line is their return man, number 6, and that is Blake Tubbs, who we'll see quite a bit tonight in the backfield. And the Johnston offense we'll see coming up. Their offense will take the field. Jack Rutz is the quarterback, a 6'2 junior. He played a lot last year, was injured part of the time. He's also their punter. Brady Hovey, Blake Tubbs, and Vinny Cresta. Those are the backs you'll see around the backfield, along with Carter Kriegel and Tyler Moore. Moore, the guy you got to watch, Matt, number 82, the big tight end, and he goes in motion. Left to right, 1st and 10, Johnston on their own 24-yard line. Back to throws. Rutz fires over the middle. Pass is caught. And, of course, they go right to the big guy, Tyler Moore, all 6'5", 240, with the catch.
Little bootleg action, and Moore turned at the line of scrimmage there, act like he's going to block, and then rolls out, and he's open, and nice little pitch and catch to start the game for Johnston. And was Blake Anderson on the stop there, I believe.
And we'll set the Dowling defense here in a moment. Johnston with a 2nd down and 2 from their own 32. Back to throw is Rutz. Looks right, throws right, and the pass is underthrown, incomplete, as it nearly hit Carson Kriegshauser right at the 25-yard line. He threw it right at his knees, so Rutz not on a good throw. Ball may have slipped out of his hand. We don't know, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, it came out there a little funny, and it was probably lucky it wasn't intercepted because there's a couple Dowling jerseys right there ready to make a play.
All right, it brings up 3rd and 2, Johnston. The Dragons going left to right, north to south here on this turf field at Johnston, and they give the inside handoff to the tailback. He's got the first down up near the 40-yard line for the Dragons. Nice little handoff that time. It goes to Aiden Moore. He is their 3rd back they'll bring in, and he's also their starting linebacker. Moore with the first down at the 40.
Well-designed little trap play off the left side right there, and nice run and moving the chains for the Dragons.
Just underway. We've played a minute. 11 minutes remaining. First quarter. No score. Dowling and Johnston. Maroons kick off, and Johnston on their first offensive series of the night. They split out one wide receiver. That's Vinny Cresta, wide right. And out of the shotgun, it's Rutz. A little toss play left side, and nice little move outside the left tackle, and that is Aiden Moore again with the carry. He might have gotten 3 or 4 yards. They're going to put it down right at the 43. Gain of 3.
Yeah, they trapped on the inside again. They pulled the left guard, and he gets out the edge, and kind of that stretch little option pitch out there, and picking up 3 yards. And Johnston's pretty content right here just to be safe and move the ball down the field. And
up front for Dowling, Mata Bruja gets the start tonight at left end. Jalen Pettis, Chase Patton, and Russell Pearson up front. And the inside handoff goes, and nowhere goes the ball carrier.
Oh, it's taken away?
The ball was
They're
really
call him
stolen
down
by Dowling. It was, but they could rule him dead as the ball was Jalen Pettis. Thought he might have had a scoop and score, but not.
Yeah, he ripped it out of the young man's hand got stopped up, and the official did blow the whistle, and Jalen was looking at the end zone.
He was, and it'll bring up 3rd down for Johnston. 3rd and 6 from the Dragon 44. They'll give Moore a gain of 1. Rest of the Dowling defense tonight, linebackers are Will Herman, Max Deary, Jack Meyer, the captain, and Carson Kriegshauser. Cornerbacks are Jackson Langen gets the start, and Austin Klein and Blake Anderson, the free safety. Rutz now back to throw, rolls to his left, being chased down the far sidelines, got the first down at midfield, still on his feet, and finally he runs out of bounds. He is their second leading rusher this year. Out of bounds inside the Dowling 40 at the 38-yard line of the Maroons.
Dowling brought 2 extra kids that time. They brought Will Herman on the right side, and then Will Herman got out leveraged on the side, and Rutz got outside and was able to run. And when you're bringing 2 extra bodies, that means everybody's locked up and man and coverage, and the quarterback's free.
He was
able to run down the sideline for a nice gain.
18-yard run, first down, Johnston. Line of scrimmage is the Dowling 38. Dragons on their opening drive as they'll send 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. The tight end is Moore, and he goes in motion. The big guy, Tyler Moore, right to left in motion. The inside handoff goes to the tailback, and a nice little off-tackle play gets across the 35 down near the 33-yard line, and that's Aiden Moore. Doesn't get the start in the backfield as they have Hovey and Tubbs in the backfield, but Moore now playing and has really made a dent.
Jalen Pettis with the stop there. Right now, the Johnston offensive line is doing some work up front on that defensive front.
5-yard gain for Moore. It's 2nd and 5. And now Rutz handoff in a loose football, but getting on top of it is Moore, who was the beneficiary of the handoff, but he wasn't a good exchange, and Moore finally fell on it. They'll lose a yard back to the 30. Actually, 2 yards back to the Dowling 35, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
And they were bringing their tight end, Tyler Moore, back this way, so I don't know if there was some kind of an option thing going on there, but you're right, it wasn't a clean handoff, and did the right thing and just falling on the football.
Up front for Johnson, the left tackle is Tyler Kronlage, number 77. The left guard is Leighton Tangy. Center is Jackson Mueller. The right guard is Cade Kennan, and the right tackle is Zach Lamberts. Now a pass over the middle. And it is caught. Moore with the catch. First down. Nice job that time. Tyler Moore, the tight end, with his 2nd catch of the series. First down, Johnson at the Dowling 26-yard line.
And he took quite a hit there at the end from Blake Anderson and held on to the football and makes a nice play over the middle up that seam. And that's a tough play to stop. And when you have that quality tight end like that, that middle seam is tough to cover behind the linebackers and in front of the secondary.
First down, Dragons. They've taken the opening kickoff from their own 24-yard line. Have marched down into Dowling territory at the Maroon 26. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Rutz on the exchange. Handoff Moore over the right side. And he's got some running room down near the 21-yard line to pick up a 5, and will bring up 2nd down and 5. Right side of that Johnson offensive line doing a great job over there. Zach Lammers, 6'2", 230 senior, the right tackle, and the right guard. Cade Kennan, number 55, is 6'2", 265-pound senior. They're running that way.
They are, and they're getting a lot of angles on that defensive front right now and able to get their blocks and move some bodies. Max Deary comes up and makes the play there for the Maroons from his linebacker position. But they're getting angles on that defensive front right now.
They certainly are. All right, it's 2nd and 5, Johnston from the Dowling 26. Rutz back to throw. Fires over the middle, little flanker screen. Caught by Moore. He's got the first down, and Moore inside the 10, down to the Dowling 9-yard line. Tremendous reception, tremendous play. It was like a screen pass, but to the tight end, to the left side of the formation.
Yeah, tight end screen, and that's the trouble with blitzing once in a while is all of a sudden that screen play will get you, and that's what happened right there. Dowling brought a couple extra bodies. Johnston has the right play called, and it's a screen play to Moore, and now they're in business inside the 10.
17-yard catch for Tyler Moore. 1st and goal, Johnson at the Dowling 9. Jack Rutz at quarterback, 6'2", 190-pound junior, and hands it off to Moore, and the tailback takes it in for the touchdown. That's Aiden Moore. So it's been a battle of Moores. The tight end Tyler, and Aiden takes it in from 9 yards out, and touchdown Johnson, and they lead 6-0.
A little stretch pitch. I don't know what you want to call it. They pitch it outside to him, and he had leverage on the edge and had a clear path to the end zone, pretty much untouched all the way in.
So with 6:31 remaining, first quarter, Johnston leads 6-0. The extra point is up, and it's no good, as the extra point by Nick Nyren is no good. 6-0 our score. Dowling trailing Johnston with 6:31 remaining first quarter. We'll take a break and be back to Johnston High School after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Dowling Catholic Sports 365 is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, with 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling Catholic graduate, and Dr. Todd Piedig. The Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at Ashworth and 60th Street in West Des Moines, 515-440-4610, online at ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
cpcustomhomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
Hey, we're back here at Johnston High School. Mark Hamadale alongside Matt Maindring. Our score is 6-0. Johnston takes their opening drive, and they take it downfield. They go 11 plays, 76 yards, capped off by tailback Aiden Moore with a 9-yard run over left tackle. That's his 4th touchdown of the season. 6-0 Johnston, and they will kick off. And Matt, tremendous.
That was an impressive. Yeah, that was an impressive drive, and they mixed up their plays well. A pretty good balance of run and pass. It's pass heavy to Tyler Moore, which you would expect, but they it was a nice drive, and they handled our defensive front. Something that we didn't see happen last week. Johnston was able to do that in his first drive this week.
All right, Louis Brooks back with Mac Anderson to receive the kickoff at the Maroons standing at their own 5-yard line, as kicking it off will be Nick Nyron, who missed the extra point, and the kickoff will go into the end zone. Touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 Dowling from their own 20-yard line. Let's go down to our sideline reporter tonight for the first time during the game. That is John Chido. A very impressive drive by the Dragon offense to start the game.
Yeah, it sure was, Mark. They were able to control the edge, and when you can be able to control the edge with the offensive line that Johnson's able to do, that means a lot of trouble for Dowling's defense. And they're doing a lot of things, getting the quarterback in space, allowing him to throw those short passes, and able to ball. And it's been very successful.
It certainly has. Thank you, John, for that update. Dowling with a first down from their own 20-yard line, and back to throw is Steingraber, the Dowling quarterback, throws it to his right. Pass is caught right off the bat, and nice reception that time by the Maroons.
Louis Brooks, I believe, out there. And
is that Louis out there in space?
Yeah, he's isolated, and, they're going to give him a big cushion, and he just turns at about the 8-yard line.
Matt, there's nobody within 5 yards of him.
Yeah, I mean, he turns at the 8-yard line. He's wide open. That's an easy pitch and catch. And
up a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, 9-yard gain.
I looked down, I said, who gave it was Brooks with the catch, and he stepped out of bounds at the.
There'll be something 20. To watch. You look at the cushion that they're giving him now, too. I mean, they're giving him a couple yards right away.
Right, Steingraber, the quarterback, and the give is to Swager. He tries to get across the 30, and he may have picked up the first down. I think he did. They put it down at the 30 for a gain of 1. Zach Swager. Let's set the Dowling offense. Quarterback is Jake Steingraber, number 10, a 5'10 senior, and also rotating in there later on will be Jackson Smolik, the sophomore, 6'2", 180 pounds. Tailback is Zach Swager, number 45, a 6-foot senior. Wide receivers, Louis Brooks, number 2, Koa Thompson, number 19, and Mac Anderson, number 11. Carson Brown is number 17. And the tight end is Jalen Thompson tonight, as Andrew Lynch still injured. And on play action, a nice throw by Steingraber, fires it out, pass is caught. Nice catch that time by Mac Anderson with the reception.
Mac Anderson, who kind of came out last week as just was a difference maker outside of Louis, and that's the thing. He's going to get those looks as they start to turn their attention to Louis. But you can see with the offensive setup right now, what Dowling's trying to do is they're trying to isolate Louis as much as they can, and that left Mac wide open for an easy 7 yards. Pistol
formation, 8-yard catch that time by Mac Anderson. First down, Dowling, and now Johnston showing blitz. And the give is to Swager. He'll work the right side, and he's hit and dropped as he got the ball maybe a yard up to the 39-yard line. That'll bring up third down for the Maroons, third and about 3.
Nice tackle inside by Aiden. It looks like Aiden Moore. Is that right?
He's a two-way player.
Yep.
That's correct.
And he made a nice shoestring tackle. Zach was going to try to slip to the right of him, but he didn't. Aiden held on and made a nice play.
Caleb Sailors tonight, center for Dowling, a 5'8", 215-pound junior in place of Jake Olson, the senior captain, who's out with an ankle injury. Steingraber, 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Nobody in the backfield. Back to throw Steingraber. He throws it over the middle. Pass incomplete. Intended receiver was Jalen Thompson, number 88, the 6'5" sophomore tight end from Dowling, from the right side. And ball was tipped the line of scrimmage and incomplete.
Yeah, it's a good thing it was tipped probably, because otherwise there might have been a pass interference on the defensive side of the ball, because it looked like the tight end, or that he got hooked coming across the formation. But did get tipped the line of scrimmage, so all bets are off then.
All right, the Maroons will punt from their own 39-yard line. Standing back at his own 25-yard line is the Dowling punter, Jake Calvert, a senior, 6', 180-pounder, waiting the snap from Koa Thompson, who's a long snapper, number 19. And back deep for and now the ball snapped over his head. And now Calvert has it, and he kicks it out of the end zone. So he took the safety, and it is already 2-0, or 2-point safety. 8-0 now. Johnston with the lead after the muff punt, and Calvert didn't take any chances. He just kicked out of the back of the end zone, and Dowling will kick off.
You know, that's coached up right there, because he's going to recover the ball at about the 2-yard line, and there's not much option for him there to get out of it. So he just kicks it out the backside of the end zone, and you live for another day. So give up the 2 points and go forward.
8-0 our score is Johnson scored there. We'll keep it here. John Chido, that was the second time this year the Maroons got caught on special teams. That happened down in Indianola. And now tonight it cost them 7 points there. It cost the Maroons 2 points here and a possession.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this in pregame, what type of team you're going to see tonight coming off of a rivalry game last week. And Dowling is very flat, making a lot of early mistakes, not taking the credit away from Johnson, because Johnson offensively looks really good. But by having said that, Dowling can't afford to make these mistakes, because they're going to find themselves in a bigger hole if they don't make some defensive stops this possession.
All right, so Maroons will kick off from their own. I think the line of scrimmage is the 20-yard line is where they kick it, or 25 on the safety. As the Maroons just kick the ball at the end zone, it'll be a high, short kick off the side of his foot, out of bounds at the Dowling 47-yard line. So a muff punt there on the free kick by Dowling, and that was Jake Calvert who muffed it off the side of his foot. And the Johnson offense will have great field possession here.
Yeah, they're going to start off in great field position after that punt, and Johnston has everything going their way right now, and this is a big defensive stand early to get the ball back here for this Maroon defense, and now you have to forget about last week.
Yeah, well, hopefully they already have. Yeah. That's a good point. First down, Johnson. They threw the ball out of bounds at the Dowling 44, and that's where the Johnson Dragons will take over. With 5:04 remaining first quarter, 8-0 Johnston. They score on their first possession offensively, 6-0. The extra point no good, and then Dowling on a bad snap on a fourth down punt. The punter kicks out of the end zone, and now back in the backfield. Dowling head-on collision that time, and that's Jalen Pettis stopping the ball carrier. And let's see which one it was. I think they went back to their starter, Blake Tubbs did, Johnson. They did, and Tubbs is stopped back at the 48-yard line, loss of 4.
Pettis almost took the handoff.
He did.
Yeah, he was back there in a hurry and just really disrupted that play, obviously, and makes a play in the backfield and sticks him in a hole.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14, Johnston, as they have a chance to go up 2 scores on Dowling here with this possession. Tubbs at quarterback, sends his tight end in motion, Tyler Moore left to right, and now we'll keep the football, and Rutz puts his head down, gets some of those yards for a loss back, and he gets it down to the Dowling 41-yard line. He'll pick up 7 on the scramble.
Good hustle play by Jalen Pettis right there. He's putting the rush on up front and comes back after Rutz leaves the pocket and makes that play downfield 4 yards.
About 7 they'll give him.
Yeah, they get 7.
So bring up third down. 3rd and 7, Johnston on the Dowling 41. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. And now Dowling jumping offside, but were they drawn? They're going to say offside Maroons. Yeah. So that'll make up 3rd and 2 on the penalty as they'll advance the ball down to the 36-yard line of Dowling.
You had momentum going in the right direction for the Maroons, and now it's back in Johnston's court, because you got to believe they're in 4-down territory at this point, and really momentum's running in their direction.
3rd and 2 Dragons. They break the huddle. 2 receivers to the left. That is Vinny Cresta, number 2, and Brad Hovey, number 5. Hovey will go in motion left to right. Rutz at quarterback out of the shotgun, runs the option, pitches it right side. That's Tubbs trying to turn the corner, and he can't. Actually swallowed up back at the 37-yard line, a loss of 1. It'll bring up 4th and about 2 for Johnston. 4th and 3, we'll call it.
That was the play that was giving him trouble on the first series, and right there Carson Kriegshauser played it perfect and makes a stop in the backfield and really puts a halt to that play, and that little stretch pitch play was the play in that first series that
they've run that toss stretch play, and they've run the option. That time the quarterback kind of made the read. Johnston going for it. 4th and 3 Dragons from the Dowling 37. 8-0 Dragons. Back to throw is the quarterback will keep it, and Rutz has a first down down the near sideline. He may go. He does. Touchdown. Touchdown Johnston as Rutz kept it. Kind of a slow developing play, and he went 37 yards for the score.
I'm not sure if that was the design quarterback draw play or not, but he saw daylight and took off with it as a lot of the tension goes to Tyler Moore with the linebacker play, and then it leaves him open, Rutz, up the sideline, and not something you would expect. You know, he's not that runner, but he really took advantage of that play right there and made a good play.
He certainly did. Extra point coming. William Scott will hold. Ball is down. The extra point is up, and it is good. So, ladies and gentlemen, our score, Johnston 15, number 1 Dowling nothing, 2:45 remaining first quarter. And we'll be back from Johnston Stadium after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Ray here from The Doctor Is In. Did I explain to you my Amway theory? Very simple. You give to this station, you support Catholic radio, and you get a percentage credit of all the lives that are changed. This is true. I've been at this business a long time. I'll tell you, if you only knew the amount of people whose lives have been changed by Catholic radio. So you support this station. It would be hard to find something where your support goes as far as it does.
You can give securely online at iowacatholicradio.com, the Iowa Catholic Radio app, or call 515-223-1150.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Kemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Kemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Kemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Kemin, using science to transform the world. Online at kemin.com.
And we're back here at Johnston Stadium. Mark Amadale, Matt Mainring. Here is the kickoff by the Dragons, and Nyron kicks it, and we got a stoppage here on the kickoff. Somebody offside. We got a penalty as the Maroons fielded the ball at the 5, but they'll come back. Offside on Johnston, and they got Scott Fox, number 87, with the penalty. That'll back Johnston up to their own 35 with a kickoff. But I'll tell you what, Dragons go down, 4 plays, 44 yards, capped off by their quarterback, Jack Rutz, on a 4th and 3. He goes 37 yards for touchdowns, man.
Yeah, very impressive, you know, and you knew they were in that territory where they would probably end up going for it on 4th down, and Rutz made a really good play, read that everybody was in coverage and saw an opening up the sideline and took it and ends up getting in.
Right, Mac Anderson and Louis Brooks deep. Anderson will have it at the 10 as Dowling now on the return, 20-25, and slides down to the 30-yard line. That's where Anderson's brought down. The Dowling offense will start there, 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. And John Chido, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about maybe a letdown from the Valley game. The Maroons are down 15-0, and now their offense out there for just the second time.
Yeah, and Rutz is a very good quarterback. He very well, but he also is a good runner, as you can tell. And we're unable to keep him in the pocket and contain him, and he's making the Dowling defense pay for it.
Yeah, he certainly is. He was injured off and on last year, and he wasn't healthy, I think, when the Maroons played here. But nonetheless, Dowling with the football, and now Steingraber will keep the football across the 35-40. He's got the first down, and that might be Jake's longest run of the season as Steingraber, the senior quarterback, runs it right over the right side and gets up to the 43-yard line. He'll pick up 13 yards and a first down here.
We'll see if the intensity picks up a little bit here from this offensive thing. And there's Steingraber showing his leadership right there. He says, we're going to get something happening.
1st and 10 Maroons. They'll go out of the pistol formation. The tailback is Zach Swager. The fullback is Cale Gokenauer, number 46, a 6'1 junior. Steingraber with 2 receivers right and a read option. The handoff goes to Steingraber, and he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage and dropped for no gain.
No room for Schwager right there as he got up into that line of scrimmage, and he took a couple steps in there dancing, and there was nowhere to go. So it's the line of scrimmage right now on both sides of the football is being won by Johnston.
Yes, they've done a great job up front. Up front for Johnston, we'll see Noah Stortz, the left end, Cade Kennan. And now back to throw is Steingraber. Fires the ball downfield. The pass is intercepted. Intercepted at midfield, and Johnson on the return takes it out of bounds in Dowling territory. And the Dragons have come to play tonight as it was picked off by Caleb Helgeson, their free safety.
Cade Kennan came through the line of scrimmage and was untouched coming off a defensive tackle position on a stunt that they had and was forcing Steingraber to get that ball out of his hands a little sooner than he wanted to. And he threw it a little bit short, and things are not going in the right direction.
Not
right
at
now.
all. Johnny, a big interception with their free safety step in front of the pass. Helgeson with the pick, and that is Steingraber's first interception of the year.
Yeah, Helgeson made a nice break on the ball, Mark. You got right in that passing lane, but when you're running those RPOs, you're reading a certain guy, and you're seeing something, and you're not expecting the free safety to step down and make that play.
That is true, and now misdirection, and now a fumble in the backfield, but Johnson gets back on top of it, but not before they lose yardage. They run the Dowling 49. They were starting their second drive tonight in Dowling territory, but now they move back to the 44 of Johnston.
It was the same play they fumbled on earlier. They tried to do this inside handoff, and they bring Moore back in the other direction from that tight end position, and both times that ball has ended up on the ground. I don't think we'll see that one again.
7-yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd and 17 for Johnson on their own 44. Minute remaining here in the first quarter, 15-0. Johnson leading number 1 Dowling. Back to throw is Rutz. Has time, fires the ball downfield, looking for a receiver, and he overthrew everybody. Incomplete as he tried to hit Vinny Cresta, the 6'2", 175-pound senior receiver, on the near side as that play went to the right.
There he got flushed and rolling out to his right side there. He tried to make a play down the field about 15 yards and good coverage there by the Maroons, and were able to get a hand on it and get in front of the receiver.
That'll stop the clock with 49 seconds remaining here in the first half. I want to thank our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Ashworth Vision Clinic, along with construction professionals and dental associates. Our thanks also to Mercy One, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Kemen. And, of course, the Maroons looking to get into that Bows in the Flores red zone for the first time, but a turnover caused that. And now here's an inside handoff, and this is Aiden Moore with the carry. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage and gets it across midfield down to the Dowling 48-yard line. That might be the final play we'll see of the first quarter. We'll see.
They're leaving their offense out in the field right now, but again, Rutz is the punter, so you don't know if they're going to come up in some position where they end up having a quick kick or something like that. Now they run the other team onto the field.
So
they do have to snap the football before the play clock runs out.
Yeah, 10 seconds on the play clock and 13 on the game clock. And now Rutz will punt it away. It's an end-over-end, low line drive kick. It angles it out of bounds. He won't kick it to Louis. It's out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. With 3 seconds remaining, it'll be 1st and 10 Dowling from right around the 10-yard line is where the official spot. Let's go down to John Chido on the Dowling sideline. And, Johnny, I know our first quarter's about ready to come to an end here with 3 seconds, but the Dowling offense will have the football, and that's the first stop by the defense tonight.
Yeah, they did a good job of keeping Rudd in the pocket. When he breaks contain and making him throw downfield, that's where the defense wants him. And then when you get in those 3rd and long situations, they go to what it's called a Tampa 2, where they're bringing more guys back and an extra free safety, and they'll allow that 7-yard run when it's 3rd and 17 or 4th and 7 or 3rd and 17.
All right, 3 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. It's all Johnston, 15-0. They lead Dowling, the Maroon offense, on the field as the Johnson defense takes the field.
There was a two penalties on that after that last punt.
They offset.
Yeah.
So first and 10, Dowling on the 10. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. And Smolik in at quarterback, fires the ball downfield. The pass is caught at the 14-yard line. The receiver driven back, and that'll end the first quarter of play. As receiver that time for the Maroons was Koa Thompson with the catch. And the first quarter has come to an end. I think Dowling wants it to come to an end after what's happened. The score, right. Johnston 15, Dowling nothing on an overcast, misty night here at Johnston High School. Dragons lead at 15-0. Back with the second quarter in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts of the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment, whether it's in the classroom or at home. Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
And we're back here at Johnston High School on an overcast, misty, damp night after raining all day. We've had over 4.5 inches of rain here in Central Iowa for folks that may be listening that are outside the state. But tonight it's held off for now, but it's 15-0. Johnston over number 1 Dowling, and here we go, the Post Valley game. Tigers are off tonight. They don't have to worry about anything, but this score gets around. They're wondering what's going on.
Let's not give Valley that much credit on this thing. Let's blame it on the weather. Dowling's playing like the weather is right now, and
exactly.
They need to turn it around and get things moving here with this drive in the second quarter.
All right, the Maroons with a 2nd and 7. Line of scrimmage is their own 13-yard line. Maroons going left to right. Smolik on a give to Cam Middleton.
Yeah, Cam Middleton up the middle and not finding that inside play is not coming to light yet. That defensive front, that front four for Johnston is really holding their own up there right now.
And they're going to spot the ball down right about the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. So Middleton, Cam, the junior running back, in place of Swagger, and it's 3rd and 9. They say he lost a yard. Here's the snap. Back to throw. Smolik over the middle. He fires it. Passes in and out of the hands of the tight end. He had it, and that was Jalen Thompson he was open and in traffic at the 25-yard line, but the pass was ruled incomplete.
He's a good young athlete as a sophomore. I think he was taking a couple steps down the field with the football before he had the football. He just took his eyes off it for a minute and knew he was going to get hit. And that's one thing about being a tight end. You know you're going to take some shots. And so you got to be ready. And that ball got away from him.
All right, Ankeny Centennial leading number 7 Waukee 7-0. 4th down for the Maroons. They'll punt from their own 12-yard line. Calvert standing in the end zone. Good snap, and the left-footed kick gets underway. It's a low-line drive. Bounces at the Dowling 40. Rolls to midfield, and it'll be down at the 49-yard line of Johnston. And that's where the Dragons will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. With as we're early here in the second quarter with 11:10 remaining, Johnston leading Dowling 15-0. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline. And John Chido, the Maroons having trouble getting the offense scoring, looking for their second first down of the first half, I believe.
Yeah, Mark, they're unable to get that running game going inside in particular. It's Johnson's defense. It's been staggering up front for them. They're very quick off the football, and it's making a lot of havoc for the Dowling offensive line.
It certainly is. So Johnston with the first down from their own 49-yard line. Ruts at quarterback. He's done a nice job tonight. Runs out of the shotgun. Runs the option left side. The pitch going to Blake Tubbs, and he's swallowed up back at the 40 6-yard line. So they'll lose 3 on that play. The Maroons have that well read. They just haven't noted when Rutz decides to run. He's been when he gets loose, he's dangerous.
Yeah, it was a good play there by Derry and Kriegshauser out there on that option play again, and Rutz pitched it late and made the play for a loss. So right now the defense needs to help the offense out here and be a good time for a turnover.
Well,
how about that?
Well timed.
Yeah.
Johnston has started at the Dowling 49, Dowling 44, and now the Johnston 49. Back to throw, Rutz near side, pass incomplete, trying to hit his tight end Tyler Moore on the left side of the formation. Good coverage that time by Will Herman and company of the Dowling defense.
Rutz is going to look for Moore right away, and he's a good target to look for. And Herman was right there with coverage, and the ball was a little low, but Will was in the right position to break that play up.
Defensive line up front, number 70 out there you see, Mata Brua, 6'3", 230-pound junior at right end right now. Jalen Pettis at tackle, Chase Patton the nose guard, Russell Pearson the other defensive tackle. Rutz now will send his tight end Tyler Moore in motion. Back to throw is Rutz, has time, has pressure, ball's loose, and scramble for the football. They're going to rule it incomplete. Yep. As all over that was Chase Patton, but they rule it incomplete, Matt.
Yeah, that was Mata Bruja right there. You just called his name, and comes back in there and got a quick release off the line of scrimmage and broke that play up, and they did say his arm was moving forward, so that ends up being an incomplete pass.
So it'll bring up 4th and 12 for the Johnston Dragons, and that'll bring in their punting unit as Jack Rutz, the quarterback, will stay in and do the punting.
Two good stands there by the defense now to give this offense a little bit of air here, and see if Louis Brooks can give us a little spark.
Well, they got to punt it to Louis. They've been kicking it out of bounds, so other teams have. And now Rutz with the snap.
He's going to get a shot here.
And they'll keep it. He keeps it inside the hash. Louis has it at the 15, return his left, turns the corner, and he's finally upended at about the 23-yard line where the Dowling offense will take over 1st and 10. 10:09 remaining, second quarter, and our score. Johnston 15, number 1 Dowling nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale, Matt Mainring. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline tonight. It's a damp night, but John Chido with his umbrella is down there. Johnny?
Yeah, I want to give some credit to Chase Patton on that last play too. He split a double team, Mark and Coach, and was able to get in the line of where the ball was supposed to go, and of course Mata Brua right there too. But great adjustments by the Dowling defense to hold Johnston to go 3-and-out.
Yeah, the Dragons have come out firing tonight. They lead 15-0. The Maroons with the first down from their own 23-yard line. And now a little pass to the far sideline. Caught, and near a first down is a receiver, and I believe that's Mac Anderson.
That is Mac Anderson. They have 2 receivers out there, and Mac curls at about the 8 after 8 yards, and nice throw by Smolik, the timing play. And moves the chains. Mac gets the first down after the catch.
Yeah, they spot him out of bounds at the 34 for a gain of 11. And as you mentioned, first down Dowling from their own 34. As Smolik in there at quarterback. They rotate Steingraber and the sophomore Smolik. Smolik on play action fires a pass out. Caught by Mac Anderson again. And he's near a first down. A quick out pattern on the far sideline right in front of the Dowling bench across from us at the 44. Near a first down.
This quick passing game was the thing that got Dowling going against Valley, and Dowling's going back to it right now. A lot of Mac Anderson right now.
9-yard catch, 2nd and 1 Maroons, pistol formation. Smolik now looking over to the sideline as they get their second call of the series. 2 receivers to the right, tight end is on the left. Here's a snap. Smolik on read option, fires a lateral pass, caught by Mac Anderson, gets outside the numbers 50. Penalty flag down, and so is Mac, run out of bounds at the Johnston 45.
I don't
know. Penalty
flag. They're going to call an illegal block over here, a hold on Louis Brooks.
They're going to spot Mac out of bounds at the Johnston 47 and holding on Dowling.
I thought Louis was in there in good position. You talk about offensive linemen getting their hands inside those shoulder pads on that block, and I think Louis did that. But out on the edge, as soon as those arms get extended, they're going to give you the hold on that.
That's right, and you're grabbing a jersey. That'll be called. So the penalty negates a 10-yard reception that time to Mac Anderson. He's had catches of 11, 9, and 10, but that's wiped out by the penalty. And I'll move the Bruins back to their own 36. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 36. Smolik back to throw, fires out. Caught by Mac Anderson. First down across midfield and finally wrestled down from behind by the Dragons. It might have been a touchdown-saving tackle that time by their backup tailback, Aiden Moore, with the tackle.
Aiden Moore did save a touchdown right there. Mac, as soon as he caught that football, made a little juke and got down a little bit farther and got the first down right back.
Maroons at the 48-yard line of Johnston. Is that the first time that Dowling's been in Johnston territory tonight, Matt?
I believe it is.
So Mac Anderson on the catch. They went for 16 yards and a Dowling first down. And now the Maroons put the ball back on the ground for the first time and keeping the football.
Blake Anderson.
Is Blake Anderson.
Yeah, nice run there actually by him. And the play was designed to go right. He cuts it back to the left side and finds a seam and is able to pick up some positive yards there. Smolik, he gets that ball out in a hurry, and he throws it on a line when he's throwing it. And
yes, he does. And Anderson gets the ball down to the 46 of Johnston for a 2-yard gain. Ankeny Centennial Walkie now tied at 7. And read option, Smolik back to throw, lobs it over the middle. The pass is knocked away, incomplete. It was underthrown and finally knocked away at the last moment by Aiden Moore. The intended receiver for Dowling was Koa Thompson in the slot left.
Koa Thompson had nothing to do but sit there and wait for that football to get to him, and Moore made a really nice play. He scrambles back and just gets a fingertip on the football, is able to knock it away.
And, it's like Smolik, you can throw the fastball, the change-up curve, and that time he just kind of lobbed it up there like a big old change-up.
He was getting pressure and had a guy around his legs as he's getting rid of the football there.
Yeah, he couldn't get him around. So Smolik on 3rd and 8 from the Johnston 46 fires the ball out, passes tipped, and nearly intercepted by the safety that time for the Dragons, Carter Kriegel. The pass is incomplete to Dowling, and it'll bring up 4th down from the Johnston 46-yard line where the Maroons will punt it.
Kate Goodwin, the outside linebacker on that side, was able to drop back into coverage, and
was he the one who tipped it?
Yeah, Smolik didn't see him, and he's fortunate didn't get picked off, but was able to knock it down and makes it 4th down.
Calvert into punt. He'll stand back at his own 40-yard line, and back deep for Johnson is Carter Kriegel, who almost had an interception, and a left-footed punt by Calvert. A spiral kick fielded by Kriegel at the 16-yard line, and that's where Johnson will take over 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. 8:16 remaining here in the second quarter. It's Johnston 15, Dowling nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio on a very overcast. Now the fog's starting to set in here at Johnston Stadium. We'll go down to the Dowling sideline. That is where John Chido is at. John, take it away.
Dowling's offense got a lot of good things going with that short passing game, and then you get that penalty, and then neglects a big play and then puts them behind the chains, and then your 3rd and long situation, and they're unable to convert.
So the Dragons will have it. Thank you for that report, John. High snap, and Rutz was able to retrieve it, and he took the handoff, a little draw play right to his tailback, and hit and dropped the line of scrimmage is Blake Tufts for no gain.
Pettis again was able to bounce back, and is the trail on that. He was up, down the line of scrimmage. That's a great play, great instinct play by the defensive tackle right there. Pettis coming down and making that play. Dowling, as they sit here, at least they were able to flip the field here. And this is the first time, Johnston's been inside the 20-yard line on a drive, and if we can, if Dowling can keep them down here, it'll keep things in order.
Ankeny leading Fort Dodge tonight, 14-6 in the first half. Last report, Ankeny Centennial and Waukee tied at 7. Now Rutz on the option to the left side, pitches it, and the tailback that time was Michael Foldis, and he's hit and dropped and lose yardage back to the 13-yard line. Foldis losing yardage that time, loss of 3.
Assignment football right there for Kriegshauser. He's got the pitch man. Anytime you're playing an option team, you're going to have one guy assigned to the pitch man, one guy assigned to the quarterback. And Kriegshauser, the outside guy early in that first series was getting sucked inside and not taking the pitch man, and now Kriegshauser's on it. He's every time right now he is making the play on that pitch man.
Under 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. Dowling trailing 15-0 to Johnston. 3rd and 14 Dragons from their own 13-yard line. Rutz has a snap go over his head. Now he's got it in the end zone.
Points. Yep,
and it'll be a safety on Dowling, or on safety on Johnston by Dowling. And it'll put the score at 15-2, and Johnston will kick off on a bad snap by the center, that time for the Johnston Dragons. And as we introduced him earlier, Jackson Mueller, high snap. Rutz fell on in the end zone. Didn't even want to pick it up.
No.
Just fell on it.
Yep.
And the safety for Dowling, so it's 15-2. And that is our second safety of the night, Matt.
Yeah, not too often you see that. But you have wet turf, And then you get that ball a little bit wet in that center, and the way they hold it now, it's different. And that ball comes off that turf quick, and it ends up high, and over the quarterback's head it goes. And he did the right thing. He fell on the end zone. You take the 2 points and don't give Dowling 7.
So Dowling will accept the free kick with 6:44 remaining. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, and that might be a little bit of a spark for this Maroon team, John, who's found that going tough against this Johnston defense, who has 4 returning starters from last year, but the Maroons have yet to get anything going consistently right now.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely right. And in field position, I think Coach mentioned it earlier in the broadcast that it's played a big factor so far. Dowling has not had good field position to start this drive. Now they have a chance to get a good return here and start on the Johnson side of the 50 would be great start after that safety. But if we're fantasy football here, 2 safeties in a game, you're loving those points.
Yeah.
That's a great point, John. Appreciate that knowledge. The fantasy football knowledge.
I had my last draft on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah. I know they we have that going around. I know it goes around, yeah. And the college game gets off tomorrow, and hats off to the programs for playing something during this COVID. We're going to talk to you, our halftime guest. I usually kind of preview our halftime guest in the second quarter. Well, my halftime guest tonight is the principal at Dowling Catholic High School, my partner on Friday nights, and that's Matt Maynard. I got a list of questions to ask you. I got a whole laundry list.
It's got like my email box every day.
Well, kind of like that. Not as bad.
No, this is good.
We'll just talk about these. All right, here's a kickoff by Johnston, fielded by Dowling at the 30. That's Mac Anderson across the 40, and he's finally driven down near midfield. It'll be 1st and 10, Dowling from right around midfield with 6:39 remaining here in the first half. Dowling trailing 15-2 to the Johnston Dragons.
I get up every morning. I got a lot of questions every day.
Yeah, that's your wife, Lisa, that's asking them, though, wanting answers.
Yeah, she's a savior. I'll tell you what.
All right, so Dowling with the ball. They're going to spot it on the 50-yard line as the Dowling offense comes on the field. Now work out of the pistol formation. And the quarterback is Steingraber, and he hands it off to his tailback. And that's Anderson back there. Blake with the carry. He's playing tailback.
He is, and, no one's been outside of Steingraber on that one run. I think this is, 3 yards is probably the longest run we've had from the line of scrimmage by a tailback, and they're trying to find the right person there. It's going to get him some yards, but that defensive front for Johnston has really been doing a job.
They have, and you have to give them credit more so than not tonight. Stortz, Kennan, Ian Dolan, and Matt Thompson up front. All right, here's Steingraber with a 2nd and 7 from the Johnston 47. He fakes the option. He'll keep the football over the left side and gets about 6-7 yards down near the Dragon 42-yard line. Give him credit for 5.
Yeah, nice read there by Steingraber as he runs that option play and makes the right read and gets up inside in that seam and for positive yardage, and you get 3rd and short.
As Maroons out, change personnel. They'll line up Louis Brooks as a wide receiver to the right of the formation. The tight end is Jalen Thompson to the outside the right tackle. Pistol formation. Steingraber sends Anderson in motion. Steingraber keeps the football, and he's hit and driven down. Nice play individually that time by the Dragons. Pettis, well, that's the other 55.
Oh, yeah, it's 55. It's
Kennan.
Cade Kennan.
Oh, my goodness.
He's been a monster inside all night here so far and just been making a lot of plays for him, and he's tough to block. And just a nice play by that young man.
Coach talked about him, and I talked to head coach Brian Woodley, his 19th year here at Johnston High School. He talked about Kennan. He said, your 55 and our 55 are pretty good all-state candidates. And I said, I would agree with you. And you saw it there, Kennan with the tackle, unassisted. 4th down for Dowling. 4th down and 4 from the Dragon 44. Calvert with the kick. High spirally kick deep into the 10-yard line. Fielded by Johnson. Loose football, but finally landed on by Carter Kriegel back there. The Dragons deep in their own territory. Matt will have it 1st and 10 from their own 3.
That's one of those footballs as it kept carrying on the young man. I think that's what the coach is going, let it go. And he catch it. He was in no man's land. He had to catch it and then put it on the ground, and here they are at the 3-yard line.
Well, they're going to move it back to the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
A 42-yard punt by Calvert, no return. And let's go down to John Chido on the Dowling sideline. It's Johnston 15, Dowling 2, and Johnny, take it away.
Well, you have to take advantage of opportunities. You have the safety, great field position on Johnston's side of the 50, and unable to convert first down there and keep the drive alive on that 3rd and short play.
All right, Rutz quarterback sneak on first down from the 2, and he tries to push the pile up near the 4-yard line for a pickup of 2 to bring up 2nd and 8. Johnston on their own 4 as quarterback Rutz just did the old quarterback sneak for 2 yards.
Yeah, playing it safe down here, and right now with 4 minutes left, they're just trying to give themselves a little bit of room and flip the field back the other way.
Certainly. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by Skeffington's Formal Wear, Mercy One, and Kemen. Alongside Matt Maindring, I'm Mark Amadale. We're here at Johnston High School. John Chido is down the Dowling sideline, and it's getting a little foggy, a little mist. The rain has stopped, but that mist is out there. But the good thing is turf field here at the high school, and now Rutz on a handoff to his tailback, and he goes over to the left side and is dropped right about the 7, maybe the 8-yard line for a gain of 4 and will bring up 3rd
Max
down.
Derry, he came back and made a cut, and Max was right there to make the play. Come up a little high on him, and he was able to bounce forward for a gain, but Max did a really nice job at the line of scrimmage there and is able to make this a 3rd and somewhat long for the Dragons down here.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 they'll call it.
Yeah.
The line of scrimmage is the 8-yard line, a 4-yard carry that time for the Dragons.
There we go.
And now the Johnston player offside. It was a right tackle that jumped a half count too soon.
Look at Zach Lammers.
And that'll move the ball back half the distance to the goal line, back to the 4-yard line, which is where the ball was previously. So a penalty on the play for Johnston, a rare one they've had tonight.
That's one where Coach Woodley, those are tough ones, especially this deep in the territory to go from a 3rd and 4 to a 3rd and 9. That's tough at the 4-yard line, 3-yard line.
It certainly is. So, and the quarterback sneak from there, and Johnston gets it up to about the 5-yard line as their quarterback, Jack Rutz, kept the football, 6'2", 190-pound junior. Started last year as a sophomore. I don't think he played against Dowling because he was injured.
Yeah, I believe
and the
you're
Maroons
right.
call a timeout with 2:45 remaining here in the first half. We'll take a break with Johnston leading 15-2 over number 1 Dowling here at Johnston High School. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Maindring and John Chido back after this 1-minute break here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
The Christ Our Life Catholic Conference for Our Searching Souls, Friday and Saturday, September 26th and 27th at Wells Fargo Arena. Speakers include Father Donald Calloway, Sister Miriam James, Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, Mirjana Soldo, Magnus McFarland Barrow, Steve Angrisano, and Iowa Catholic Radio's John Leonetti. Tickets and information are available through ChristOurLifeIowa.com. The Christ Our Life Catholic Conference, September 26th and 27th at Wells Fargo Arena, ChristOurLifeIowa.com.
Thank you, Skeffington's Formal Wear, for sponsoring Dowling Catholic High School football. In business since 1951, Skeffington's Formal Wear offers quality service, style, and selection, providing tuxedos, suits, and casual groom attire for weddings, proms, and any other special occasion. Skeffington's Formal Wear, with convenient locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Davenport, Coralville, and Ankeny. All locations are family-owned and operated by members in their respective communities, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Number 8.
And we're back here at Johnston High School. Here is the punt by Nick Nyren, or rather the quarterback Rutz, and he kicks it down, and Dowling fields it. And that was a Blake
Anderson. Yeah.
And a nice job by Mason Cornwell on special teams. Got it all the way down and tripped up Anderson right about the 47-yard line of Dowling. As it was a tremendous punt by Rutz out of the end zone.
It was, and Cornwell makes a nice play because Anderson's going to get some positive yards, but Cornwell makes that stop and keeps Dowling out of Johnston territory.
So the Maroons burned a timeout. They have 2 left. 1st and 10 Dowling from the 47. And the Maroons now a pass, and that's Louis Brooks with the first catch. He's got a first down across the 40 of Johnston. And a nice run that time after the catch by Louis.
Caleb Helgeson made a break on that football underneath and just about got his hands on it, and would have been a pick six the other way. Gets through to Louis, and Louis makes a great catch and run and does what Louis can do.
And he picks up 15 yards and a Dowling first down Maroons at the Johnston 38-yard line. 2:15 remaining. Game clock runs. Two receivers left, one to the right. Steingraber back in at quarterback. Pass is caught far side, outside the numbers, and a first down for the Maroons. And getting outside the numbers that time on the reception.
They're going to give him the first down, see if he's out of bounds. They're going to stop the clock while they move the chains.
That was Carson Brown.
Yeah, there you go. You made that call earlier. I know your wingman called Mac Anderson last week, I noticed.
Yeah, well, he went to more practices than I did. I mean, he pulls that administrator pass. Even though he's retired, he gets out there. Me, I get frisked at the door by JR, and I can't get in there. So it's first down Dowling at the 26 of Johnston with 2 minutes remaining. Steingraber on the shotgun. Fires the ball out, and he overthrew his intended receiver that time, Mac Anderson, incomplete.
Right now, Dowling's been going on that short curl, and you're going to see a pump and go on one of these here because Johnston is starting to break on that early, and it's going to create an opening here because it's a lot of one-on-one coverage on the outside.
So it is a second down play coming up for the Maroons. 2nd and 10, line of scrimmage of Johnston 26. 15-2 is our score. Johnston leading number 1 Dowling here at Johnston High School. Game clock stopped at 2 minutes, and now long count with 6 on the play clock. Here's Steingraber, a snap, fakes the handoff, looks left, looks over the middle, has a man open, caught! That's caught by Anderson. Mack with the first down, inside the 5 of Johnston, down to the 3-yard line. Tremendous catch in traffic.
That was
by Mac Anderson.
Johnston's flying all over the football field and just barely. They're coming underneath those patterns quite a bit, trying to tip them and get them through. And Steingraber threw that thing on a line and a nice catch down the field and puts the Dowling offense inside the 5-yard line.
Anderson, that's Mac Anderson, 23-yard reception. First and goal Dowling at the 3 of Johnston. Out of the shotgun. Hand off to the tailback and bowling his way through, and that's Swager. Touchdown Dowling. Zach Swager.
The offensive line came through when they needed to inside the 5-yard line, and
I'll check that. It is not Zach Swager.
I don't think it was either.
It's Adam Townsend with the touchdown. So we haven't seen Swager since the first couple series. Townsend with the touchdown.
Yeah. Nice run inside there for Townsend and makes a great play.
Our score is 15-8. Johnston leading Dowling, and now the extra point by the Maroons. This is not Calvert in for the extra point. This might be Diego Leon. The hold by Steingraber, and the kick is up, and it is good. It's Diego Leon with the extra point, and our score is Dowling trailing now. It's Johnston 15, Dowling 9 with a minute 36 remaining here in the second quarter from Johnston High School. Back in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Dowling Catholic Sports 365 is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic with 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling Catholic graduate, and Dr. Todd Piedig. The Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at Ashworth and 60th Street in West Des Moines. 515-440-4610. Online at ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
cpcustomhomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
Iowa Catholic Radio, KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel. Listen online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com or download the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
Hey, welcome back to Johnston High School. The kickoff by Diego Leon of Dowling, fielded by Blake Tubbs, and on the return, Tubbs takes it to the 28-yard line. That's where Johnston will start, 1st and 10, from their own 28-yard line. Minute 30 remaining in the first half, and Johnston's 15-0 lead, now down to 15-9 with that touchdown run by Adam Townsend there, John Chido, scoring from 3 yards out, his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, Adam did a nice job hitting the hole and keeping his pad level low and keeping his feet moving to get in the end zone. And Dowling's been doing a lot of shuffling of the backs and doing a lot of different things. And what great rhythm they had there on that last drive.
Yeah, they certainly did as they took it in. 5 plays, 53 yards. Thank you for that report, John. Handoff on the ground as Rutt's back to throw. Faked the throw, and he handed off kind of the updated version of a draw player, and he finally gave the handoff to his backup tailback, Aiden Moore, who's a two-way player for Johnston.
Johnston made the decision right there that they're going to play this pretty conservative and be happy to go in at 15-9. It'll be interesting here if what happens after this play if Dowling decides to use one of their timeouts.
I think they will.
As the miss gets a little heavier here.
2nd and 10, and Johnston taking everything of that play clock. It's down to 10 seconds right now. They break the huddle. They'll send out one receiver to the right side. That's Carter Kriegel. 2 receivers left, and the quarterback is Jack Rutz, a 6'2 junior. Rutz on the read option, gives to his tailback, and he's got some room. That's Aiden Moore. He's got the first down, crosses midfield. A nice tackle there by the Dowling free safety that may have saved a touchdown. And he finally brought down at the 44-yard line.
They put Tyler Moore in motion, the tight end, who draws a lot of attention, and he ends up trapping on the inside there and created a seam for Aiden Moore in that little trap play.
16-yard run, first down Johnston. Now back to throw Rutz. Fires over the middle. The pass is in traffic and upended as a tight end, incomplete, and he's down. He had 4 white shirts around, and he's slow to get up. That is the tight end, Tyler Moore.
He got hung up in the air there and got cut down by the Dowling defender coming from the safety position. I don't know if that's Blake Anderson that got him or what. You hope the young man's okay.
He's slow getting up. The trainer out there for Johnston there. 29 seconds remaining, and that stops the clock. 2nd down and 10 now for the Dragons. And he's going to walk off the field under his own power. We want to thank Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates for supporting our broadcast this year. And want to thank Bozen and Florist, our Red Zone sponsor. Say more with Bozen, 515-244-ROSE. That's 244-7673. Bozen makes the moment mean more. And speaking of more, Tyler Moore and Aiden Moore for Johnston. They've been a pretty good combination. And replacing him in the lineup will be Trey Walker, as the Dragons will bring in an extra receiver with 2nd and 10, 29 seconds remaining. Dragons with all 3 of their timeouts remaining here in the first half. Dowling has 2 left. And now they'll break the huddle. 2 receivers left and 2 to the right. Rutz on the read option gives to his tailback, and he's hit and dropped. Crosses the 40 up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 4. They'll bring up 3rd and 6. And let's see if Dowling stops the clock. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will here. And Tyler Moore comes back into the football game, which is good to see. And looks like Johnston's going to let it run down, maybe take one shot at the end zone here before the half.
6 seconds remaining. They'll let the clock run out. We're going to go into halftime. John Chido will.
Oh, they're going to call a timeout. They're going to take a shot.
Oh, they are. Timeout Johnston, and that'll be their first time out of the second half with 3 seconds remaining. We'll keep it here. Mark Amadale, Matt Mainring, and John, I know you're going to get set up with your interview with head coach Tom Wilson at halftime. The Maroons trail 15-9 right now, almost going into the break. But it's been an interesting first half for Dowling. They got nothing going as far as offensive chemistry. Defensively, they played pretty well considering the field position they were put in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the rhythm that they showed on that last drive, they're able to do it when they can execute and they stay away from the miscues. And that was a huge score because now you're a 6-point ball game instead of 15-2 with the weather coming in and it's starting to rain and it's been kind of drizzling. It's picking up a little bit more. That changes a lot of things that what you can do offensively and you don't want to have to come from those big come from behind from those big leads and that Johnson had, and I just can't say enough how crucial that score was.
It was, and Dowling gets the football to start the second half, so
yes.
it's an opportunity to come out to start that second half and set the tone and hopefully get out in front right away.
All right, John, thanks for that report. 3 seconds remaining in the first half. 3rd and 6, Johnson. Here's a snap. Ball almost went over the head of Rutz. He fields it. Back to throw. Now steps up in the pocket. Fires the ball downfield. He's got a man open, and the ball is incomplete. He had it, turned, and Dowling stripped it away from him. Nice job by
Austin Klein.
Klein with the strip, and that'll end the first half.
Nice play.
And the score is Ankeny leading, or rather, Johnston leading. I'm looking at the Ankeny score right now. Johnston leading Dowling 15-9. Updated score, Ankeny leading Fort Dodge 14-6 in Fort Dodge tonight. And with 5 minutes left in the first half, Waukee leading Ankeny Centennial 14-7 in Ankeny. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, and that is where John Chido was at. John, take it away.
I was unable to get Coach Wilson. I was down at the other end, and they got off the field pretty quick, Mark, so I apologize for that, and we'll get him after the game for sure. But The momentum changing is the game of momentums that we saw in the first half, and miscues and field position, and it seems like once Dowling got things going, they're able to convert and capitalize on the score. But the story of the game is early was that Johnston's offense being able to get the edge, and Dowling's defense not being able to contain that quarterback. Rutz has done a very good job, and the defense cleaned that up a little bit, and Dowling was able to get some things going.
And, Johnny, I think Matt touched on it. I'm impressed with the front four for Johnston. They've really controlled the line of scrimmage. Stortz, Kennan, who's Johnston's version of Dowling's nose guard, Chase Patton, and Jalen Pettis, and Ian Dolan and Matt Thompson really done a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they sure have, and we talked about it earlier in the broadcast. When people can set that edge, and with a quick quarterback and a quick running back, it's tough to defend, and it's tough for the linebackers to move sideline to sideline. So you have to have your defensive ends have to be disciplined and keep that contained and not get too far inside or too far upfield. And they were able to clean that up. And credit to the Johnston offensive line, like you said, they've done a tremendous job early on, and then they got stuck in bad field position, Mark, and was able to get themselves out of the hole.
That's true. And Johnston linebackers, Aiden Moore, who's a two-way player, J.T. Puck, Cade Godwin, and Trey Walker have done a pretty good job backing up their defensive line. And then the corners, Trey Walker, Carter Kriegel, Will Scott, and Caleb Helgeson had the interception for Johnston. The free safety, his dad was on the Dowling staff back in the early 2000s. Then he was on the Pizzetti staff at Ankeny while his kids were going to Johnston, and then he switched over here a few years ago. And Brian Woodley, I told him, I said, you got to get Helge on your staff. He did. He left Ankeny and Ankeny Centennial and came over here. And he's got a pretty good son who is one of three Helgesons going through. Caleb, the older one, they're all pretty good wrestlers. The youngest one might be the best wrestler. Don't say I said that on the radio, because the other two brothers, they might have at it tomorrow morning. We don't want to cause any of that here in the Helgeson house. But tremendous first half by Johnston. You got to hand it to them. They lead it here at halftime, 15-9 over Dowling. Matt?
Yeah, just that first quarter, Dowling or Johnston be able to go up and put 15 points on the board and take advantage of a miscue by Dowling there, and their defense is playing well, and Dowling started to show some life there at the end of the second quarter, and get the ball to start the second half. So we'll see what happens.
Let's take a look at our first half stats. Scoring-wise, Johnston scored the first 15 points of the ball game via a 9-yard run, by Aiden Moore, a safety by Dowling as the Maroons had a bad snap, and they kicked the ball out of the end zone. And then Jack Rutz, the quarterback, got loose on 4th and 3, ran it for 37 yards, and Johnston up 14-0 early. And then the Maroons score with the safety as Rutz had the ball snapped over his head. He fell out in the end zone, 15-2 Johnston. And then Dowling scoring with an Adam Townsend. Townsend on a 3-yard run, capped off a 5-play, 53-yard drive for Dowling. And the score is our score now, 15-9, as Dowling has now scored the last 9 points. Total offense, Dowling with 132 yards, Johnston with 126. The Maroons have 106 yards passing, 26 yards rushing. Johnston with 29 yards passing, 97 yards rushing. And first downs, the Maroons have 8 first downs, Johnston with 7. Jake Steingraber, the Dowling quarterback, 5 out of 8 passing, 66 yards and an interception, no touchdowns. And Smolik, Jackson threw for 4-7 for 40 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions for Johnston. Their quarterback, Jack Rutz, was 3 out of 9 passing for 29 yards, no interceptions or touchdowns. Leading rusher for Dowling is the quarterback for the Maroons, Jake Steingraber, 2 carries for 19 yards. Blake Anderson, 2 carries for 5 yards. Zach Swager, 3 carries, 3 yards. And Adam Townsend has 1 carry for 3 yards and a touchdown. Cam Middleton carried once for -3 yards. For Johnston, their leading ball carrier is their backup tailback, Aiden Moore, 12 carries, 60 yards and a touchdown. Blake Tubbs, 6 carries for 54 yards. And their quarterback, Rutz with 6 carries, 54 yards. And the rest of the Johnston tailbacks were all for negative yardage. The leading receiver for Dowling, Mac Anderson, 5 catches, 67 yards. And Louis Brooks, 3 catches for 27 yards. And Carson Brown, a catch for 12 yards. For Johnston, is their tight end, their leading receiver, and their only receiver. 3 catches, 29 yards for their tight end, Tyler Moore, all 6'5", 240 pounds, who was shaken up in the first half. So that's a look at the numbers in the first half. Both teams pretty even offensively. And Maroons with 132 yards of total offense. Dowling with 1 with Johnston with 126. We'll take a break, and we'll catch up with some scores. As the last report, Ankeny leading Fort Dodge 21-6 at halftime. Now that game goes halftime in Fort Dodge, and Waukee leading Ankeny Centennial 14-7. I believe that game is at halftime. Here, we're in the fog, we're in the mist, and as John mentioned, a little bit of rain. Our halftime score, it's Johnston 15, Dowling 9. From Johnston High School, this is Mark Amadale along with Matt Maindring and John Chido, back with our halftime guest, my partner, the principal of Dowling Catholic High School. Matt Maindring is up next. Get your questions, folks. We'll take them here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is Dr. Gregory from The Doctor Is In. Okay, I'll confess. Years ago when I was asked to be on Catholic Radio, I peremptorily said, no thanks. And then I realized the power of Catholic Radio. As I got emails and letters from folks who have come back to the church, whose families converted, whose lives were made better. It's training for the troops. It makes better Catholics, better Christians out of the folks who listen, and then they go out to transform the world. Your gift works to make a difference for you.
You can give securely online at iowacatholicradio.com, the Iowa Catholic Radio app, or call 515-223-1150.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Kemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Kemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Kemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Kemin, using science to transform the world. Online at kemin.com.
And welcome back to Johnston High School as we're at halftime for the Johnston-Dowling game. And it's Johnston leading Dowling 15-9 in high school football. The Maroons, the new number one team after knocking off Valley last week 22-0. But it's been all Johnston in this first half. Credit to head coach Brian Woodley and his 19 years here at Johnston. They are leading at halftime over Dowling Catholic, and I'm joined here, Mark Amadale, joined by Matt Maindring, my partner. First time we've seen you this year on the radio booth. I know you've been a stellar listener. We appreciate that.
You bet.
Getting a few texts, a lot of positive texts out of you. I'll get some negative ones every once in a while. Tonight they haven't showed up. But thanks for joining us. You are the principal, and where do you want to take our listeners at with Dowling High School this year, Matt?
Well, I think it's obviously the makeup of things looks so much different as we started the school year this year, and coming out, it's one of the things that school is very different right now, and I don't think our kids see it, and our teaching staff, it's. What we're doing for those listeners that don't have anyone in the building right now is we are basically teaching the students in the classroom, and at the same time those kids that are staying at home. So we have about 200 students that are attending virtually of our 1,400. And those students are at home in class live with the teacher. And so as a teacher in the classroom, you have some kids in the room, some kids at home, and the education is going on. So it's been a challenge over the first couple of weeks to get acclimated to that technology and to be able to do that and run two platforms. But we're kind of hitting our stride this week, and we're starting to see the positives of that from an educational standpoint.
And Matt, when all this happened back last March, and I vividly remember this, we were at the state basketball tournament. Dowling played on a Wednesday. On Friday, they're shutting everything down. Spring break was the following week. You come back, and it's virtual classrooms. And I know Dowling and a lot of the Catholic schools went virtual then because of shutting it down because of the COVID-19 pandemic, rightly so. So you really got a tremendous start in that environment, as you called it, then. And now this year opens up, and it's got to be mostly in classroom teaching, but there are some that do it virtually. So you've had that taste there for a little bit.
We did, and last spring was a good experience for us as learning how to do some things that way in our staff. And they just did a phenomenal job. Our faculty is amazing, and to do what they did over spring break essentially, and we took one day and we adjusted right to that online learning environment. And what we thought was going to be for 2 weeks turns into 2.5 months, but it wasn't to the level that Dowling expects. What we did last spring was really, really good. And, but when we're going about and what our students need is they want to be challenged academically in an environment that cares about them and is trying to personalize that teaching experience and that learning experience. And this year we've upped it like 10 notches, and from an academic standpoint now our kids are getting a very, very good education, and I think as good as you can get in the environment that we're in right now. And the parts that's challenging right now is the social side of things, and our students. Because as we go into homecoming week, and I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute, but as we go into these things, so many events are canceled. You look out here, there's no student body. And, to do things in a healthy way and to remain socially distant creates a pretty sterile environment. And, it's unfortunate for the kids, but good for the kids, because we are staying healthy.
Well, the instinct is for everybody to socialize. We are social people for the most part. The ones that don't socialize, this is their environment. They want to be by themselves. That's great, but they want to be social. So do kids, teachers, no matter, and that makes it tough because of this virus and how deadly it can be. Yes, it's a flu type virus, but it affects people differently. Obviously, it doesn't affect the kids for the most part. But it affects adults. And where do kids live with? They live with adults, whether it's their grandparents or their parents.
Yeah, and you have to take it seriously because of everything that's going on. And, we're masked up every day. And in our classrooms, our teachers are teaching from a spot where they've got about a 6-foot cushion, and so as the information comes out and all the guidelines, and Polk County Health has been a great assistance to us and answers a lot of questions. And I know what they do is just amazing to provide the guidance for us. And so what we're trying to do in our classrooms is create an environment where our teachers are spaced 6 feet away from the students. So you're trying to limit the number of quarantines. If you have a positive case, how many students are going to have to quarantine or going to be exposed because of that positive case, and that really puts a lid on your transmissions as you try to go through the day. And right now we're in a hybrid model where our students are split alphabetically. So on Thursday it was A through L in the building, or A through K in the building, and then today it was L through Z in the building. And it's a little weird because you're used to seeing 1,400 kids in the hallway, and right now, we're going about 600 kids in the hallway a day, but we're able to socially distance in the classroom, much like we are right now up in the booth.
You're on one side, I'm on the other.
Yeah, and so it's. But that's such an important thing from a transmission standpoint, and keeping kids masked and doing all the right things. And I don't know if you had a chance, but you should stop in and see our lunchroom. We got partitions up everywhere, and so the kids, it's not very fun to go to lunch because you can't socialize, and you're doing it for the betterment of the kids and their families and our teachers, to keep everybody safe.
And that's the thing that's important. Safety of all those you just mentioned. That is so true. Visit with Matt Maindring, the president of Dowling, or the principal at Dowling Catholic High School, and he's my broadcast partner back in week 3. We're glad to have you back. I know Johnny and I, I've had 3 different people in the booth. Enola, last week with Valley, had to dig out Mark Houllier from his Packer land.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second, you're from that land too.
Yeah.
And then having you up here. So talking about what's going on inside Dowling, obviously activities, and as we talked about, and Johnny's a big part of this because his son's on the football team, homecoming next week. And boy, is that ever a social event. And here we are in COVID, the pandemic. And how's this going to look next week, Mr. Maynard?
Well, we're trying to liven things up a little bit, and our Maroon Council, Casey Tickle, Kristen Meyer, Becca Cooling, and Megan Woodstock, and Laura Ketch, they moderate that group, and our Maroon crew and our student council combined, they're trying to generate some excitement in this COVID world. And so we do have dress-up days next week. Monday is Teen Beach movie day, and then we have Outsiders Tuesday. You remember that movie, don't you? Outsiders.
I do.
And Mean Girls Wednesday, whatever that is, and Let the Good Times Roll Thursday, and High School Musical Friday. What we're trying to do is provide some opportunities. So like on Thursday, for the freshmen and the sophomores and the juniors, we're having a movie night at Palms Theater out in Waukee, and then on Thursday night also, then we're having the court come out onto the field for the seniors. You're trying to do things where we make it as much of an experience as we can for our seniors, because they're the ones that are getting shorted in some way. And so you're trying to do some things special for them. And so we'll have a little event out at the football field for them Thursday night for the seniors. And then we'll have coronation at halftime. This will be the first time, I believe, in a long time that we're going to crown the king and queen at halftime of the football game on Friday night.
Normally that's done in the gym on Friday afternoon, but due to you're not having
no
pep assemblies in the
yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that says a lot. Now, I saw, as being a Dowling alum, I got a little email blast. The pancake breakfast, which is usually held around playoff time, end of October, early November, that's going to look a little different this year. I don't know if you could speak about that a little bit, Matt.
Well, I haven't paid attention to that as much yet because that's a long ways away. Well, It's only about a month and a half, but it's a drive-through pancake breakfast. And, trying to make the best of the situation, I think it's a great idea. I think we'll be able to have a lot of fun with it and trying to make the best of it and still hold true because it's such a Dowling thing. It's such a community-driven
tradition. One of the traditions, absolutely.
And so to be able to do it in this manner should be a fun and exciting way to go about things.
So all the activities that the social activities have really been put pretty much to a stop, but the academic part has been tremendous. And I tell you what, I think the teachers, the staff, the support staff, whether it's a lunchroom or whatever, it's a different environment for us all. But when you get into a school building where teaching goes on, that has really been the trick. And so you basically have like a Zoom with teaching going on with the in person. That is just amazing how that is working.
So we had a changeover in our business department late in the summer, and so Kristen Meyer and myself, I'm teaching a business class this year, Intro to Business, right now, and I got to give a little shout out to Anna McCarty, one of my seniors in that class. You got to recognize your seniors in that class.
Sure.
Danny Bakken, but they know Anna McCarty, great business mind, so she's going places. Keep track of that. Anyway, but so I'm teaching, and you have this live feed, so you've got this Google Meet going on, and so you can see the kids at home, you can converse with the kids at home, and then you can converse with the kids in the classroom as well, and trying to create some environments where you're keeping everybody engaged in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And there's challenges, there's no doubt about it, but it's our kids have been just phenomenal. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and the homework is getting done, and they're following the rules that need to happen, and we're making the best of the situation.
All right,
and the goal overall is you're really trying to stay in the building as long as you can,
right?
Because the last thing we want to do is be fully online. So this hybrid model, at least we're getting the opportunity to keep the kids safe, keep them distance in the classroom, and still have the education going on.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, keeping that education, that one-on-one education that you get every day.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a break here at halftime. It's Johnston leading number 1 Dowling 15-9. My halftime guest has been Matt Mainring, my broadcast partner, former football coach at the Sheldon ORABs. Is that right?
Yeah, ORABs.
ORABs.
Yeah, we a lot of ORABs.
ORABs. I'm sure your opponents called you other things when you were out there.
Yeah. That always meant you were winning those, so that's good.
That's right. And we didn't get any questions answered on us. We were going to take calls, and nobody on the hotline here.
Good.
I looked down. Nope, it's empty.
Yep.
We'll take a break, come back with the second half. Both teams on the field getting their 3-minute warm-up in place. Again, the halftime score is Johnston 15, Dowling 9 here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts at the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment, whether it's in the classroom or at home. Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
Welcome back to Johnston High School. Boy, if you could hear what goes on when we are at the break. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, and John Chido as Ankeny was leading at Fort Dodge. I got Ankeny. I'm watching the Ankeny Fort Dodge score. But Dowling trailing at halftime. It's Johnston 15, Dowling 9. And John Chido on the Dowling sideline with the umbrella. I see you down there with Mr. Scigliano, Mark Scigliano. And did you have a question for Mr. Maindring about golf, or was it virtual learning or anything like that as you're a parent of a junior at Dowling, Johnny?
Well, keeping my son engaged is hard enough, but Dowling does a great job, thank God, and it's a great place to be because I'd be pulling my hair out even more so than I already am. But the golf thing is we're talking about blank golf course, and Coach is going to be playing there tomorrow. You got a lot of room to spray the ball, which is good.
I need all the room I can get.
He was wanting a tip, Johnny. Your family has run that course for many, many years. My dad used to play there back in the 70s and 80s. He just wanted a tip from you. What does he use his driver, or does he got to go to the irons off the tee?
Well, if you play from the yellow tees, the up front tees, you don't never need to bring your driver out except for par fives.
There's your tip.
There you go.
And that's always the funnest to do because you're actually hitting shorter irons in the greens.
There you go. Mr. Maindring,
I don't know if I've got that much skill. I just close my eyes and swing. So.
That's awesome. Well, John, what do you think went on at halftime? I know you didn't get a chance to talk to Coach Wilson, but both teams on the field. Has the rain increased right now, or are we just seeing this drizzle?
It's just been staying steady with the drizzle, which is good because if it gets out of control, then you don't want to be the team that's not leading the ball game. So this drive is very important to start the second half. Dowling deferred. They're going to start with the ball the second half, and I think that short passing game, they're going to get a lot of one-on-one looks with the number one receivers on the outside. And they had some success getting beyond the linebackers in front of the safeties. So I think they're going to probably take advantage of that. And this is just my coaching coming out, and I'm probably absolutely wrong. But they got to stay away from the penalties and the miscues. And I think defensively they got it cleaned up and just keep ruts in the pocket and keep them contained.
Yeah, that was a big part of that first half among everything. And now Johnston kicking off and a high end-over-end kick fielded as Nyron kicks it. And it's
into the end zone.
Kicked it out of the end zone again as it went into the fog and into the north end zone here. Dowling will go left to right, north to south here. They have the first possession, Matt, of the second half, rather.
Johnny makes a great point. When the weather starts to turn like this, you don't want to be the team that's having to come from behind because it puts pressure on you and you end up doing things that you don't want to do, and the ball gets a lot slicker and everything else. And so, getting out and getting in front before the weather deteriorates anymore is pretty important.
That's true. 1st and 10 now for Dowling. I'm looking at the radar now, and everything just seems to be going north of I-80, so the heavy stuff might be missing us, but we still have the drizzle. Back to throw. Smolik gets to start in the second half, and a quick pass on the left side, caught by Carson Brown, and he might have picked up 5 yards up to the 25-yard line.
You talked about Carson before the game, and now it's a couple catches for him tonight, and makes a nice play as Dowling emptied out the backfield and spread it out, and I think you might see a little bit more of that. I think that's where they found success in that first half was this short passing game.
The receivers for Dowling, they can move. Besides Louis Brooks, we all know about him, and Koa Thompson, who's made some big catches, Mac Anderson, Carson Brown's that fourth receiver, and now the Maroons with a little quick pass, caught first down, and I think that's Mac Anderson.
That's Schweiger.
Or Schweiger.
It was a handoff. As soon as I say we're going to go to the quick passing game, Coach Wilson does a little outside zone, and Schweiger gets first down.
Swags with the catch the run up for 9 yards. That's his longest run of the night. It's first and 10 Maroons at 35.
Nice play there for the Maroons.
Dowling comes out 3 wide, 3 to the right, tied in on the right, nobody on the left side. Here's a snap, and read option to give is a Swagger. He breaks a tackle, turns the corner. He's at the 40, 45, 50, midfield, down the far sideline. Finally run out of bounds at the Johnston 41-yard line. How about the Swags that time,
Yeah,
Zach?
That was a great run by Zach, and he was able to get away from Cade Kennan in the backfield because that young man's in the backfield a lot. Yeah, and he was able to get away from him and get to the edge, and a nice run by Zach.
25-yard run for Zach Swagger, the Dowling tailback. 1st and 10 Maroons at the 40 of Johnston. Smolik out of the pistol formation, handoff Swagger again, turns the corner, and fighting for yardage. They may have gotten a yard down to the Dragon 40 39 rather.
But even right there, you saw Zach, and he's got the strong legs, and he just kept things churning right there and bounced that out, and it was just a jersey tackle there that was able to bring him down. He's really got those feet moving and running with a little more intensity right now.
Yes, he is. He actually may have gotten benched a little bit in that first half, but he's back out there. Cale Gokenauer is the fullback when they go to that pistol formation, and that's where Swager was last year when the Maroons had that dynamic new at tailback. And a handoff. Swager again turns the corner, breaks the tackle, and he's inside down to the 37-yard line at Johnston. He'll pick up 2. It was a quick opener, but it closed early.
Yeah,
the Dragons closed it down.
Ian Dolan for the Dragons there makes a stop because it looked like Swager got through there and was going to escape and get about 7 or 8 and ends up only getting about 3 or a couple, and now we've got a 3rd and long.
And Gokenauer stays in at fullback. They'll bring in an extra tailback. And out of the diamond formation, back to throw Smolik right side. The pass is up and incomplete off the hands of Louis Brooks. Louis thought he had a little contact ahead of the play by Trey Walker, but the pass is incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and 7 for Dowling.
And Louis in a position right there where he makes that curl and he's coming back for the ball, and he's got to sit there and wait, and it was bang there, but I think it's the right call.
Calvert into punt. He'll stand at midfield, and back deep for Johnston is Carter Kriegel. He'll stand right at the 10-yard line. Dowling going left to right in front of us, or north to south here. 15-9. Johnston with the lead. Calvert with the left-footed kick. It's a low end-over-end kick, and it bounces in the end zone. Hustling down there for Dowling was Austin Klein, but he couldn't stop it in time. He couldn't find the ball at the last minute.
No, he didn't get his head around, and he didn't know where it was, and the ball just skipped by.
So 9:27 remaining third quarter. And Johnston with their first offensive series of the second half. It's Johnston 15, Dowling 9. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline. That is where John Chido is at. Johnny?
Well, if Dowling's offense started getting some going, and Swager had some nice runs, and that was all him, Mark, and Coach. I mean, he's breaking them out of the pile there and making something out of nothing. But, going back to that third down play, Louis Brooks breaking for that ball, I think Coach mentioned that ball should be there when he's breaking, and the ball was out of the hands. And I think the weather has something to do with that.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And the Maroons on defense, Johnston on offense. Rutt's in at quarterback. He's went the whole way, and he's also scored a touchdown tonight. They hand it off to their tailback, and that's Blake Tubbs with the carry right up the gut from the 20-yard line. And Tubbs is up to the 25-yard line, a little inside handoff over right guard in the center.
Yeah, nice play up front for Johnston. It's always interesting to see when you come out of half. Both teams decided they wanted to establish the ball on the ground.
Yes, they do.
And Johnston gets a nice play there up the middle.
So we'll bring up 2nd and 5, Johnston. And they'll send out 2 receivers to the right. Vinny Cresta, the flanker, at the top of the formation. And in motion goes Brady Hovey. And now Rutt's on the option, pitches to Hovey, and he goes nowhere. Dowling has got that option play down pat. He'll lose yardage back to the 20, a loss of 5. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Dragons.
This time it was Will Herman out there, and, the outside linebacker has that responsibility. On the other side, it's Craig Zauser. On this side, it's Herman, and makes a great play on the pitch man for negative yardage. And that play worked in the first series, and it hasn't worked since.
It has not, and Johnston scored on it. The Maroons have been held to 1 touchdown and a safety tonight for their 8 points. Or the 9 points, rather. And now Johnston out of the shotgun. Ruts back to throw, fires it off, and it's tipped and nearly intercepted, but incomplete. Max Deary, the linebacker, went off his hands and fell harmlessly incomplete back deep for Dowling. Blake Anderson at safety may have had a shot, but that was a bullet thrown by Ruts that time, incomplete.
It was. And, they sit there and they look for Tyler Moore. At first I thought he didn't come back out, but he is back out there. And that was a bullet over the middle into a lot of traffic, and fortunate that didn't get picked off.
Yeah, you're talking about Tyler Moore, their 6'5" tight end. He and Aiden Moore, who's their backup tailback, have done damage. Now Ruts stays in from quarterback. He'll punt it away, and it's fielded by Brooks at the 44 of Dowling. Return is right. Brooks zig and a zag across the 40, the 45, and now penalty flag down, and Brooks is down at the 42 of Johnston.
Number 77 on the stop there for the Dragons, Tyler Kronlodgy, and get a flag at the end of the play.
So we'll see what this is all about. 7:53 remaining third quarter. Johnston leads 15-9 over Dowling Catholic. Mark Amadale joined by Matt Mainry tonight here in the booth. Down to the Dowling sideline is John Chida. While they sort this all out, Johnny, your thoughts on that last defensive presence for the Maroons?
Well, they got like you guys said, they have the option figured out. When the defensive end takes the quarterback and makes him pitch that ball quickly, it allows that linebacker to run downhill and make the tackle in the backfield. And they've done a tremendous job adjusting that. I think more so in those first couple of possessions of the ball game, they're kind of sitting back on their heels.
We do have two flags down on both ends of the field here, both sides of the field. One's
going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty, and I don't know what the first one towards you guys is going to be.
Yeah, we'll get it. The officials are mic'd tonight. We'll try to pick it up, but right now we believe it'll be Dowling football, just a matter of where it sits on the Johnston 42-yard line, and now the White Hat will let us know.
We have a block in the back. A block in the back. We also have a personal foul on Johnson, number 2. We'll replay the down.
Play the down.
So they're going to replay the down, offsetting penalties, and they'll re-kick it from the 20-yard line, which is where Johnston was. That was our official tonight, Mike Morrison from Clive, J.D. Schroeder, Russ Dempster, Jeff Bunning, and Sean Oslin, our officiating crew. And they say, we're going to redo this again. You can't decline it if you're the head coach there. Mr. Mainring, like back in the days at Sheldon.
Yeah.
It's a re-kick.
It's a re-kick.
So we're going to strike all that. It would have been a first down Dowling at the 42. So Rutz will go back in there at quarterback. 4th and 10 for Johnston, back on their own 20. And here's the snap. Rutz gets it away again. Short end-over-end kick. And it's fielded by Dowling, and that is Blake Anderson at his own 46-yard line. So the Maroons will lose a little bit of yardage
10 yards,
here.
Yep.
10 yards there. 8. Now they'll lose about 12 yards. They're going to put it on the 41.
Blake Anderson did the right thing right there and calling for a fair catch. It was a real nice punt by Rutz, and it's generally in those situations you don't want to have to punt twice, especially with the wet football.
No.
Bad things are going to happen.
We've already seen 2 safeties tonight, one on each team. So and that's both caused by bad snaps. And,
right.
All right, pistol formation. Dowling with the first down from their own 41-yard line. And Smoltz stays in at quarterback, and he'll give it to his tailback. And let's see, I believe that was Swagger. And he struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped after he started going north-south, and then it went east-west quickly, and he's brought down, no gain.
Yeah, and Johnston defensive front has been awful tough to run against, and they saw a little bit of that first series, and there they shut it down right away.
All right, 3 receivers now to the right for the Maroons, and 1 to the left. Smolik back to throw, fires over the middle of the passes, tipped and incomplete. Tried to hit his tight end, Jalen Thompson, who has been well defended tonight by the Dragons, and once again, a Moore involved with that. That's Aiden Moore, the linebacker.
Jalen got hit there, and you got, that tight end again. You get over that middle, and that ball gets up in the air, and you kind of get hung up there, and that's what happened to the young man. He takes a hit in the midsection and is down on the field right now.
And he is shaken up, and we've seen both tight ends be shaken up as Tyler Moore was injured in the first half for Johnston and had the wind knocked out of him because he got up under his own power, then came back in. And now we see Jaden Thompson down at where he was brought down at the 40-yard line of Johnston. They're going to take a break, so we will too, with 7:12 remaining here in the third quarter. It's Johnston 15, Dowling 9 here on Iowa Catholic Radio. We'll be back from the Johnston field after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
The Christ Our Life Catholic Conference for Our Searching Souls, Friday and Saturday, September 26 and 27 at Wells Fargo Arena. Speakers include Father Donald Calloway, Sister Miriam James, Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, Mirjana Soldo, Magnus McFarland Barrow, Steve Angrisano, and Iowa Catholic Radio's John Leonetti. Tickets and information are available through ChristOurLifeIowa.com. The Christ Our Life Catholic Conference, September 26 and 27 at Wells Fargo Arena, ChristOurLifeIowa.com.
Thank you, Skeffington's Formal Wear, for sponsoring Dowling Catholic High School football. In business since 1951, Skeffington's Formal Wear offers quality service, style, and selection, providing tuxedos, suits, and casual groom attire for weddings, proms, and any other special occasion. Skeffington's Formal Wear, with convenient locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Davenport, Coralville, and Ankeny. All locations are family-owned and operated by members in their respective communities, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel. Listen online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com or download the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
And we're back here at Johnston Stadium. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Maindring, and now a catch by Mac Anderson moves the ball down to the 44 of Johnston. It's 4th and 1 Maroons. They come up just a yard short after the measurement. Mac with a nice catch on a little corner route to the left side in front of the Dowling bench. 4th and 1, 7:06 remaining third quarter, and it's 15-9. Johnston leading Dowling here on Iowa Catholic Radio. And I believe they put Steingraber back in. Jake in at quarterback after Smolik led the first couple of plays in this drive. Steingraber will run the football. And check that. It's Jake English will run. He turns the corner and he's hit and runs right into a bunch of purple shirts. He can't get the first down. Brought down at the line of scrimmage at the 45. Loses a yard, actually.
Yeah, he lost a little
as
yardage.
Jake English came in and ran it on 4th down.
Well, it's trusting your defense right here, and it's a big play for the Johnston Dragons defense, obviously getting the ball back and losing the field position battle right now. So this is where the Dowling defense has to step up.
1st and 10 Johnston.
Defense.
Yeah,
Trust your defense.
1st and 10 Johnston at their own 45-yard line. Jake English, we've seen him do that at the Indianola game. He came in and ran the Wildcat, if you will, and he is the third-string quarterback on the roster. As Maroons now will turn it over, and now the Johnston offense on the field. Rutz at quarterback, 2 receivers left. Inside handoff goes to the backup tailback, and running for yardage is Aiden Moore. He gets up near midfield.
Ball might be out.
But no signal yet.
No signal yet, except for the Dowling players.
And it'll bring up 2nd down and 5. And they're going to rule him down. That's what they call a 5-yard run for Aiden Moore. He and Tubbs have been sharing that tailback spot.
There's a good tackle in there by Blake Anderson. Came up from his safety position and cut him down after a 5-yard gain.
And it'll bring up 2nd and 5, Johnston. 6.5 minutes remaining, third quarter. Dragons lead it 15-9. Inside handoff again, right up the gut, and Moore hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage. They'll push him back. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Russell Pearson makes a great play from his defensive tackle position and gets in there and gets a stop in the backfield. No gain.
Update on our current conditions here at Johnston tonight. 60 degrees is our temperature. Cloudy skies, overcast. We got the damp rain and all that. East-southeast wind at just 2 miles per hour. The humidity up there, and it's just been one of those damp nights. And the Maroons have played like the weather so far, and Johnston's played like it's been a sunny day. Tyler Moore now split out wide right for Johnston. 3rd and 5. Rutz fires it over. Caught by Moore, the tight end. He's got the first down. Tripped up inside the 45, down to the Dowling 41 or 2-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 41, a gain of 9.
Good play and good throw by Rutz. Dowling brought pressure on that play, and Rutz was able to get away and find his target in Tyler Moore, who I believe has caught all the passes so far.
9-yard reception. He was shaken up in the first half. And as we had that timeout, Dowling's tight end was shaken up, Jalen Thompson, but he finally got up and ran off the field under his own power. So it's 1st and 10, Johnston from the Dowling 41. Rutz with the man in the backfield. He'll hand it off to him. That's Tubbs. He scampers near side in the secondary, and he's finally brought down at the 25-yard line of Johnston. 1st and 10, Dragons, and Rutz with his biggest run of the day.
A little counter play right there for Blake Tubbs, and he gets off that left side and found a crease and turned it into a big play for the Dragons.
Yeah, all the way down to the Dowling 24 they'll spot it, and that is Blake Tubbs. They got the handoff from Rutz, and makes pretty good yardage that time.
Blake Anderson with the stop and saves a touchdown there for the Maroons.
17-yard run for Tubbs, his longest of the night. 1st and 10, Johnston from the Dowling 24. Tyler Moore goes in motion. Handoff Tubbs right up the gut, and he's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Ran into a wall, and finally I think the Dowling secondary making the stop there, and that is for the Maroons, the young man who scored, Adam Townsend, making the stop, I believe.
Will Herman there met him at the line of scrimmage and made that stop in a heartbeat.
Yeah, gain of 1. They'll spot it down to the 23, so it brings up 2nd and 9, Johnston. They move that play clock down to 15 seconds. As Rutz, the quarterback, he'll work out of the shotgun, sends his tight end in motion left to right. Here's a snap. Rutz looking over the middle, now wants to keep it, and he's hit and tripped up. Couldn't get past the Dowling defensive line. I'm wondering if somebody got a hand. Pettis may have gotten a hand on him.
Either Pettis or Patton might have got a hand on Rutz's foot there and was able to trip him up because he might have got to the first down marker otherwise.
Yeah, so that'll back him up 2 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 11 for Johnston. Loss on the play as the quarterback Rutz was stopped after he scrambled. 3rd and 11. Dragons getting close to field goal range.
They haven't had a lot of pressure. Rutz has been able to have a pretty clean pocket most of the night to get the ball out.
Moore in motion again. That's the tight end, Tyler Moore. Back to throw Rutz. He wants to throw at him. The pass is incomplete. He underthrew it and threw it in a spot that only Tyler Moore could catch it, but he underthrew him incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down for Johnston.
This is an interesting call here for Johnston as you have 4th down, and I don't know how good their field goal kicker is, but they're going to come out here and give it a shot, and it's going to be a 42-yard.
Yep, 42-yard. He has not attempted a field goal this year, as we are speaking about their Nick Nyron, 6 foot, 175-pound senior from the left hash, as he goes, kicks from right to left in front of us. The holder is Will Scott. Ball is down. Kick is
might have got tipped.
And is blocked and goes into the end zone out of bounds. And it'll be Dowling football, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
I believe Austin Klein came around the right side of the offensive right side and was able to dive back there and get a tip in the ball. Took a great angle, got his hand on it and knocked it down, and it fell into the end zone.
So 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Our score, Johnston 15, Dowling Catholic 9 here on Iowa Catholic Radio, Week 3. And let's go down to the Dowling sideline as the Maroons will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. John Chido, come on in.
Yeah, big play by Austin Klein, being able to get his hand there and getting penetration up off the edge to block that field goal. And going back to the play before, Jalen Pettis getting in the throwing lane a little bit and making that errant throw for Rutz. Two great plays by the Dowling defense.
It certainly was. And now Steingraber back in at quarterback. He'll work out of the shotgun. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left, and he'll just keep the football. And he gets through that initial line, but it picked up just a couple of yards, a 2-yard gain. An empty backfield, Matt, and Dowling has their quarterback run it there for 2 yards.
Design quarterback draw, and he sets up and gives a little fake and then runs up the middle and able to get some positive yards out of it. You know, Dowling sitting here was able to do that short passing game, and they see it getting covered up right now, so it's making it a little more challenging.
Game clock under 2 minutes, 50 seconds it runs. 2nd and 8 Dowling, and Steingraber inside handoff, and that's Middleton, and he's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage, no gain. May have lost a yard or two back to the original line of scrimmage. Cam Middleton on the carry.
Yeah, Cam didn't have a chance as the front of that defensive line for Johnston came through and was able to get back into the backfield. And here we got Tyler Moore coming into the game on a 3rd and long to bring pressure up the middle. So keep an eye on him off that left edge.
Yeah, you're talking about their starting tight end, and it is 3rd and 10, Dowling. Back to throw. Steingraber wants to look right, can't get it off. He'll keep the football, and he's finally brought down at the 20-yard line. Good defense by the Dragons, and they hold them again.
Tyler Moore gets in there and gets a stop along with Cade Kennan, and who's been just all over the defensive line.
Loss of 1. That'll bring up 4th down for the Maroons, 4th and 9, as they spotted up to the 21-yard line as the ball was gain of 1 as the ball was back on the 20, and Calvert in to punt from his own 10-yard line. Good snap, gets it away, high end-over-end kick, and it forces the Dragons in retreat. Inside the 30 it bounces, and it'll be down at about the 28-yard line. So nice job by Jake Calvert.
Yeah, great punt there by Jake, and was able to get the ball to turn over and got a nice bounce on it, and that's a way to flip the field.
Certainly is. Minute 23 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Johnston with the first down from their own 28-yard line. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio, sponsored in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, along with Construction Professionals and Dental Associates. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline before the Johnston offense takes the field, and let's bring in John Chido.
Yeah, Mark, this is Dowling needs a playmaker, somebody to step up and make a play, create a turnover, something to get this momentum changed and get the field position. Now they need to create a turnover.
All right, Johnston with the first down, and now an inside handoff, and let's see if that's Aiden Moore in there. They've rotated their backs as Rutz with the handoff. And just a little bit of yardage, maybe back to line of scrimmage, and that's it. And that is Michael Foldis with his second carry of the night, the backup tailback.
They run that little inside counter again, coming back against the grain, and Will Herman was able to be there, and Pettis on the bottom of the pile, and they had that one played up pretty well.
Well, Johnston led at halftime 15-9. Our score remains 15-9, and last week we had no scoring by either Dowling or Valley in the second half, and it certainly looked like the final minute of the third quarter, we're going to have no scoring in the third quarter. Rutz, and Dowling showing blitz. Back to throw is Rutz, quick hitter, and he throws behind his intended receiver, incomplete. That was Tyler Moore, the tight end, lined up by himself to the left of the formation, but the pass is behind him, incomplete. Good coverage that time by Dowling's Jake Anderson, and I believe also down there was Adam Townsend.
And good pressure up front there, and Dowling brought a little, you see Coach Bossum brought a little heat there and brought some pressure and forced Rutz to get it out early. And right now you're seeing a lot of double teaming on Moore in coverage. There's two white jerseys on him wherever he goes right now.
All right, it's 3rd and 10. Johnston from their own 28-yard line. The quarterback is Jack Rutz, the junior, has went the distance, has pressure, fires it out, little screen pass, caught, and diving forward is the tight end. That tight end screen again to Tyler Moore, and he's shy of the first down. He crossed the 35 up to the 36-yard line, gain of 8.
He got a pretty generous spot right there because I thought his knee was back down here,
and he slid.
And he lunged forward off his knees, but fourth down and 2 to go inside deep in your own territory. You got to figure they're going to punt. They're going to let the clock run out and switch sides of the field.
All right. Final seconds of the third quarter as Johnston will continue its lead. They lead number 1 Dowling. It's Johnston 15, Dowling 9. We've come to the end of 3 quarters of play. Back with the fourth quarter in 1 minute. Along with Matt Maindring and John Chido, I'm Mark Amadeo, and you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Dowling Catholic Sports 365 is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic with 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling Catholic graduate, and Dr. Todd Pedig. The Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at Ashworth and 60th Street in West Des Moines, 515-440-4610, online at ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
cpcustomhomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
And we're back here at Johnston High School. Side of tonight's game, a very damp and overcast night. Ankeny now extends their lead over Fort Dodge, 24-6 up there at Fort Dodge. That was probably the best matchup tonight as we take a look at some of the top 10 teams. Johnston leading Dowling 15-9 going into the fourth quarter. Maroons, of course, ranked number 1. Southeast Polk is ranked second, and they were on the road tonight as they were traveling to Cedar Rapids, taking on Cedar Rapids Kennedy, a number 2 versus number 10 matchup. Cedar Falls is 3rd, Valley 4th, Urbandale 5th this week in the weekly top 10. Cedar Rapids, Washington 6th, Waukee is 7th, Ankeny 8th, and Iowa City West 9th, Cedar Rapids Kennedy 10th. And now here is the punt by Johnston, and Louis Brooks will let it go out of bounds. Well, no, it stays in bounds, but it'll be down at the 20-yard line, and that's where Rutz's punt ends up. So Johnston with the punt to start the fourth quarter, and it'll be Dowling football, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, which is the far sideline here. They're on the east bleachers. That's where the Dowling fans are, and that's where John Chido's at. Johnny?
Well, Dowling's done a nice job defensively of containing Tyler Moore in that last series and keeping him in check because he's been a big playmaker for the Johnson's offense. The same with Rutz, and still unable to break the pocket, but their defensive line's coming to life and making them throw the ball a lot sooner than they wanted to.
All right, 1st and 10 now for Dowling as the Maroons now on their own 20-yard line as Steingraber in at quarterback.
Schwager in the backfield with him.
As one receiver to the right and one to the left. And Steingraber looks, passes near side, caught by Anderson, and it's complete up to the 25-yard line. A little quick hitter on the out pattern.
Yeah, it's quick hitters, and I think Coach Wilson, as he saw things happening, Johnston was really starting to come under those patterns a lot, and so he got away from those quick hitters. But right now, Johnston's taking away the run game, and Dowling's going to have to do some things in the air to move the ball.
All right, 2nd and 5, pistol formation for the Maroons. Steingraber at quarterback. Read option. The give is to Schwager. Right up the gut he goes. He's got the first down, fighting for yardage up to the 32-yard line.
I should say that more, because the last time I said that, Schwager got a first down.
He did.
So.
He got another one.
Nice run by Zach in that interior front. And we talked about during the break, you can see the absence of Jake Olson at the center position. That's that captain. That's that guy. And now they're starting to come to life here a little bit up front.
7-yard gain for Schwager. And it's a 1st and 10, Dowling at their own 32-yard line, underway here in the fourth quarter. Dowling trailing 15-9. Steingraber with 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Read option, now he rolls to his left. Has time, looks downfield, fires a ball for Louis Brooks. Caught inside the 45, and he might go. Finally tackled from behind as he went inside the hash marks with the catch to the middle of the field. Finally brought down inside the 35 of Johnston.
He's in double coverage there, and Steingraber just went at him anyway, and Louis went up and got the football in between 2 Johnston defenders and was able to come down, and they knocked each other off, and Louis gets away, and all of a sudden the wheels are in motion here.
A 35-yard reception that time for Louis Brooks. First down, Dowling. That's the biggest play of the night for Dowling. Steingraber at quarterback. On the read option, he'll keep the football. Looking to his right, penalty flag down, and Steingraber unleashes to Brooks in the end zone, incomplete. And a penalty flag as Steingraber rolled to his right after play action, Matt. And I think we got a hold on the play.
Yeah, Cade Kennan was coming off that edge, and technique of the outside or of our right tackle was good and had him. But then when Steingraber goes outside the edge, he just held on to him.
And he was caught by the officiating crew. That'll mark it off 10 yards from the spot of the foul as they're marking off right now. 46-yard line of Johnston is where it'll end up if the Maroons had a first down at the 33. So it's first
and a couple
miles. Pistol formation. 1st and 23 they call it from the Johnston 26. Low snap. Steingraber picks it up, rolls to his right, has pressure, avoids it, and he threw it out of bounds, incomplete. And the question is, he didn't throw it over the line of scrimmage. Got to throw it past the line of scrimmage. There was no Dowling player there, and I think that's the call.
Yeah, they're going to.
So the pass is incomplete, and this might come at a cost and a loss of down if that's what they rule. We'll see if we can pick up the officials' call here, but the pass has to go past the line of scrimmage here, Coach.
Yeah, there was a guy out there, but he was a little bit farther down the field.
Yeah, he was on the other side. Intentional crowning on Dowling. Didn't go past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Of course, our defensive guru this year is John Chido. Last year he was all offense. This year he's the defensive guy. What do you think about that one, Coach Chido?
That was awful close. I don't know if the rules are different for each level, but if you break the pocket, you have to get the ball past the line of scrimmage. It looked like, it was really close. Or was there a receiver not in the area?
Receiver not in the area, I think. I think that's what they called. There wasn't anybody around.
So the penalty against Dowling moves the ball back to the Dowling 49.
Only lost 3 yards on
second
that.
And 26.
Confused.
Back to throw is Steingraber. He unloaded it. He threw behind Louis Brooks, who was running a go pattern on the near sideline, incomplete. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 26 for Dowling on their own 49.
Now you have 3rd and a bunch. And now you're just trying to give yourself a little bit of position to get that punt down in there. There's no plays in the playbook for 3rd and 26. You can do something fairly conservative, or you're going for it all here. You got Louis Brooks out on the edge with single coverage out here, so see if he takes advantage of this one-on-one situation.
Yep, 2 receivers left, one to the right. Dowling going right to left. Screen pass set up, caught by Schwager. Zach with it. He's inside the 50 and finally tackled about the 41-yard line of Johnston. He'll get some of those yards back. It'll bring up 4th down 4th and about 15 or 16 for the Maroons.
4th and 16, and the tough part is here you're in no man's land. In high school football, the 40-yard line is no man's land.
I was just going to ask you, what do you have for 3rd and 26 in a playbook there?
Well, you don't have much, but coach is probably hoping to give himself, if it's a 4th and 10 or 4th, he gets about 6 more yards out of that. He probably would have went for it because you're inside the 40, but
Sure.
Right here you end up going to have to punt.
Swager's catch went for 10 yards, and now the punting unit out. 4th and 18, they call it, from the Johnston 41. Dowling will punt right to left towards the north end zone here at Johnston High School. Good snap. Calvert into punt. Left-footed kick off the side of his foot. It may not go past the line of scrimmage, and it's going to roll right at the 35 and out of bounds. So a 6-yard punt after Jake Calvert kicked it off the side of his foot. 1st and 10, Johnston from there.
That much you can.
Tough.
Yeah, it's tough, and the punter's sitting there trying to fine tune that one. We're going to really give it a coffin corner kick, and just got away from him a little bit. And now the defense has got to set the tone here and try to get the ball back.
Updated score: Waukee leading Ankeny Centennial 14-7. Centennial unranked this year, looking for their first win. Waukee ranked 7th, and that's Dowling's opponent next week. So the Johnston Dragons will take over 1st and 10 from their own 37 is where they rolled that punt, went out of bounds. About an 8-yard punt for Dowling. And now inside handoff is Johnston on 1st down. Keeps it on the ground, and they're going to run a lot of clock here, Matt. I got a feeling.
Yeah, they're going to try and grind this thing out, and they've been going to that left side, left edge out there, and not with much success. And a really good job. They put Tyler Moore in motion, and he's out there as a lead blocker, and I couldn't tell which Maroon it was, but he came up and just blew him up, and so that really stopped that play. It's not about tackling the ball carrier sometimes. Sometimes it's about getting that lead blocker.
Gain of 1, bring up 2nd down and 9 for Johnston. They break the huddle at the 10 seconds left in the play clock, and they're going to go with 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. And the quarterback out of the shotgun with the back next to him. Here's the snap, and he wants to throw. He fires it left side. The pass is intercepted.
Yeah.
Intercepted by Klein. And you were just talking about that earlier. Defense has to come up the pick. Well, Austin Klein, 3rd interception of the year.
Well, Johnston's not hiding anything. They isolate Tyler Moore out there, and Austin Klein's on, and Austin Klein's thinking that ball's coming my way. And Rutz stared it down, and Austin Klein stepped in front and took the football. Great play by that young man, and now the Maroons are in business.
1st and 10, Dowling from the Johnston 43. John Chido, that might be a little film work there, and what Coach said earlier, just kind of reading that play, knowing what you had.
Yeah, absolutely. The footwork for Austin was great. Separated man from ball, and that tells you the receiver has to come back for the ball and not let the defender slip in there and make that interception.
And the Maroons right up the gut on 1st down. Zach Swager with the carry from the Johnston 43. He carries it down to about the 39, maybe the 40 for a gain of 3 or 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 4, we'll call it.
Cade Godwin pulled him down right there, and Zach really is keeping those legs churning, doing a much better job in the second half of really grinding things out and running hard, running downhill.
Give him a gain of 4. It's 2nd and 6. With 8:15 remaining, 4th quarter, Johnston 15, Dowling 9 here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Handoff Swager once again. He'll run right side. He's got the 1st down. Runs into a defender, but he takes him downfield inside the 30, and they'll spot him down right at the 29. Hard run of 10 yards.
Hard run
for Zach.
He ran right over that the Johnston tackler at the end of that play, and it's one of those where Zach delivered the blow at the end of that play, and
he
finished going forward.
All right, it's 1st and 10 Maroons down at the 29-yard line. Johnston vying for the upset here. 15-9 Dragons. Dowling with the ball. Back to throw is Smolik. Fires it right side. The pass is going to give it a catch.
No, I
incomplete,
think
out of
went
bounds.
Down. Yeah, he was out there targeting, I believe it was Koa Thompson, number 19. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, check that. It was Anderson. It was Mac Anderson was the intended receiver. Incomplete. Little quick hitter to the right side. A little square out pattern. But it went for about 4 or 5 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Dowling. Game clock stopped at 7 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Maroons with the 2nd and 10 on the 29-yard line of Johnston. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Mainring. John Chido down the sideline. Pistol formation, and Smolik. The give is to Middleton, and Cam hit and dropped immediately as he got the handoff for no gain. May have lost a yard back to the 30. He's found it tough tonight.
Yeah, and they closed up in a hurry. There was not any room there for Cam as he hit the line of scrimmage. And that defensive front, again, how many times are we going to call his name tonight? Cade Kennan and company up front, shutting it down.
Yeah, those guys that wear 55 and play nose tackle, very tough to run against. All right, 3rd and 11, Dowling. Lose a yard. Back to throw is Smolik. Fires downfield, looks to the end zone, and gets it.
Oh,
and
what
it's
a
caught
catch.
Inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. What a catch. Going up for it is Mac Anderson. And that might be the play that sparks this team tonight.
Mac Anderson, what a catch. And Smolik throws it down there, and you're thinking that ball is not going to get caught.
It was a 50-50, too.
Yes, it was. And Mac Anderson goes up there and gets it and makes a nice play at the 2-yard line.
They're going to spot it down at the 2-yard line. 28-yard reception. 1st and goal, Dowling at the 2. As the Maroons going towards the north end zone here, right to left in front of us. Diamond formation, Smolik at quarterback, and now we got a timeout called
by Dowling, I believe.
They haven't said it is Dowling. So we'll take a 1-minute break. 6:41 remaining, 4th quarter. Johnston 15, Dowling 9. Back in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Hi, this is Father Larry Richards of EWTN Open Line Thursday, and we just want to encourage you to help us. We really need you to bring people to Jesus Christ. Think about it. What have we done to bring people to Christ? We need you and we need your help because Jesus tells you, go and make disciples of all nations. You can do that by helping us. God bless you.
You can give securely online at iowacatholicradio.com, the Iowa Catholic Radio app, or call 515-223-1150.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Kemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Kemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Kemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Kemin, using science to transform the world. Online at kemin.com.
And we're back here at Johnston High School. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Maindring. Dowling with a 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Diamond formation, Smolik at quarterback. He hands it off to the tailback, and he's hit and dropped back at the 5-yard line. That play went nowhere as Swagger got the handoff and a couple of purple jerseys in the backfield, in the Dowling backfield.
Caleb Helgeson there for the Dragons came and just shot through there. It's a run blitz, and he makes the play in the backfield, and Swagger had no chance on that play.
Loss of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and goal Maroons from the, I'm going to call it the 4-yard line, so just a loss of 2. And now Smolik with Swagger beside him to his right. Sends a man in motion. Here's a snap. Swagger with it. Fakes the throw. Fires back, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Johnston, and they'll run it back at the 30 and nearly lost it out of bounds. And finally getting tackled at midfield is the defender for Johnston. Interception in the end zone. He ran it back, and was that Helgeson? We'll have to look it up. But
they're going to call a flag over here.
Caleb Helgeson with the pick, and he runs it from the end zone out to the 49-yard line, and a tough break for the Maroons there.
Yeah, and you get down there at the goal line, there's so much traffic going on, and you throw it back into the middle, you're gambling. And that's it was a good play by the Johnston, and that ends up being a
personal foul against Dowling, and they're going to mark it off. After the play was over, they'll put the ball in and move it from the Johnston 48 all the way down into Dowling territory.
And that personal foul, it's costly because it's one thing to get the ball up at the midfield marker, and now you're going to add another 15 and put them in deep into Dowling territory with 5 minutes to go.
5:52 remaining in the 4th quarter, and an upset brewing here. Unranked Johnston leading Dowling 15-9. First down, Johnston at the Dowling 36-yard line. And now an inside handoff. They give it to their tailback, Tubbs. And Blake Tubbs takes it down to about the 33-yard line, 34-yard line, gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Run inside there, and Will Herman makes a nice play in there and makes a hard hit at the line of scrimmage and gets it as only a 2-yard gain.
Johnston going to take a lot of time, and we'll go down to John Chido here. Johnny, Smolik had a couple of reads. He tried to get it to Louis Brooks, who was running the under pattern, but he threw behind him, and that's where Helgeson was.
Yeah, it was an inside-out pattern, and he kind of double clutched it and tried to throw it into a tight window there, and Helgeson made a great play.
And a nice return on the play. Thank you, John. And now it's second down and a handoff, and hitting and getting smothered as Tubbs in the backfield. From the Dowling 34, they'll move the ball back to the 38-yard line. Loss of 4, and will bring up third and long for the Dragons.
Jack Meyer on the stop there for the Maroons in the backfield and creates that loss. And now it puts Johnston in a tough position. You got a third and long, and all eyes go to Tyler Moore right now.
Dragons letting that game clock get inside 10 before they break their huddle. 4:35 remaining. Game clock continues to run. Johnston 15, Dowling 9. Here on a very damp night at Johnston Stadium. Turf field, and it's all Dragons so far. All right, here's Rutz out of the shotgun. The gives to Tubbs, and he's tripped up and gets back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 36-yard line. Will bring up 4th and 10 for the Dragons.
And, it's obviously this is going to be you'd think, this is no man's land again, so you don't know what they're going to try here, if they're going to gamble and go for it and figure they're giving the ball back here. But I got to believe they're going to try and punt the ball. They've had good success with Rutz.
They're just
put the ball inside the 10.
They're going to let the game clock run down, and you'll see a timeout. Right now we want to thank Kemen, along with Mercy One and Skeffington's Formal Wear, for supporting our broadcast all season long. Reminder, the Iowa Catholic Radio Carathon starts on Monday, September 28th. And you can give online at iowacatholicradio.com. And we've got a timeout on the field. We'll take a 1-minute break, 3:37 remaining.
Take the penalty. They're going to do delay a game and not call the timeout.
They are not taking it. Okay, Dowling went back to the sideline, and I thought, well, we're going to take the timeout and then punt it. But no. Coach Woodley says, no, bring the punting unit in, and Rutz, he can kick it down towards the end zone. As Brooks in for Dowling, he'll stand back around inside his 15, and Rutz will stand back at his own 46-yard line, awaiting the snap from Sam Zindel. Rutz gets away. It's a low end-over-end kick from the near side, out of bounds, around the 20. We'll see where they mark it. That
one, he was making sure Louis Brooks didn't get a shot at it, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line, 22.
Yep, so it'll be 1st and 10. Dowling from their own 22-yard line with 3:31 remaining. Fourth quarter, Dowling trailing 15-9 to Johnston. Maroons will start there on their own 22-yard line. And John Chido, before the Dowling offense gets out there, give us your perspective on the Dowling sideline. This might be the final possession offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to have to make every down count. Going to stay away from penalties and just take bits and pieces at a time.
First down play. And Smolik with it, being chased, fires the ball downfield, caught, and the tight end makes the catch for Dowling, Jalen Thompson. And he's wrestled out of bounds, tried to get out of bounds. I'm going to keep the clock running.
Clock rolling. Yep.
But Thompson with the catch.
Nice catch there, and Smolik double clutched again and get a little nervous when he threw a rocket over the middle, and Thompson catches it and keeps the offense moving.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 Maroons. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Smolik at quarterback. Out of the shotgun, steps up, fires the ball downfield, looking for Louis Brooks, and it's incomplete. Louis was well defended that time by the Johnston defensive back, and that being Carter Kriegel.
Yeah, he ended up throwing it over his inside shoulder. If he gives Louis a chance, if he can get it to his outside shoulder, but that's a tough throw, and gave Louis a shot, but it was a little too far inside.
So bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Maroons from their own 26-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Swagger in the backfield. Smolik out of the shotgun, fires it downfield. The pass is intercepted again. Intercepted, and he threw it into traffic, and the Dragons are going to win this ball game. That might do it.
Yeah, he just lofted that ball into the air, and I think the play originally was supposed to go to the left side, and we had all the routes going on the first down marker, and he chose to stay to the right side, and there's a lot of traffic there, and that's a tough play to make, and now it's on the defense to try to get the ball back.
2:46 remaining. Dowling with
3 timeouts left.
All 3 of their timeouts.
Yep.
And John Chido on the interception. Was that Moore for Johnston with the interception?
Yeah, I believe so. It was a screen pass that was set up, and Swagger got caught up trying to get out there, and he was – the ball was thrown, kind of floated in there, and it was a great great defensive play.
We're not sure if it was Kriegel or Moore that intercepted it, but it's first down Johnston at the Dowling 29, 2:46 remaining. They hand it off, and it's the tailback, and he pushes his way inside the 25, and he may have gotten eight or nine yards on it.
And the thing is now, for Johnston, they end up in field goal range as well.
And that was Moore, Aiden Moore with the carry, and a timeout called by Dowling. We'll keep it here, or rather we'll take a 1-minute break. 2:35 remaining, fourth quarter. It is Johnston 15, Dowling 9, here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts at the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment, whether it's in the classroom or at home. Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
And welcome back to Johnston Stadium, as Johnston now the timeout. The give is to Michael Foldis, who's in at tailback, and he gets the first down from the Dowling 22, knocked out of bounds inside the 20.
And now Dowling's forced to let the clock run here after the first down, so they'll take a timeout after this first play.
Other games tonight here in Class 4A, we mentioned Southeast Polk traveling to Cedar Rapids Kennedy. That's a top 10 matchup. Number 2 Polk at number 10 Kennedy. Valley was idle tonight. They're ranked 4th this week. Council Bluffs Lincoln was at Urbandale, the game being played just down the road. And Waukee leading Ankeny Centennial at last report. We'll try to give you a score. That's Dowling's next opponent. Inside handoff, and that's the tailback. Let's see which one's in there. Is it Foldis or Tubbs? And he's brought down, and it's Foldis at the line of scrimmage. No gain at the 18.
So now Dowling's going to wait and take the timeout. Yeah.
So we'll keep it here. A minute 54 remaining. 15-9 is our score. Johnston with the lead over Dowling. Mark Emmedill alongside Matt Mandring. John Chido on the Dowling sideline. And I think, Johnny, you said it well. The post-Valley game. Tigers have the same problem getting up after the week of Dowling. Dowling has had this happen before, but not after a win, not for a while. And it's been all Johnston tonight. Can't take away anything they have done.
No, you're absolutely right. And when you make these miscues, special teams, penalties, interceptions, turnovers, and you're on the wrong side of that, bad things are going to happen. And Dowling had opportunities, and they made some nice plays, and you get inside the line. And the next thing you know, it's you get pushed back 2 yards and turnovers. But Johnson put themselves in great position to win this ball game, and they deserve it. They played a well football game tonight.
Yes, they did. And next week, Johnston hosting Ankeny Centennial and Dowling hosting Waukee next week. A handoff goes to their tailback, and he stood up and dropped, and that is Moore back in. Aiden Moore, number 29, the tailback. He comes in for Foldis, and he's hit and dropped. Shy of the first down, and he brought down at the 13, a gain of 5.
Now Dowling's going to elect with their last time out to take it after this third down play. So you get a stop here, you make them kick the field goal, and hopefully get the ball back.
Game clock continues to run. It's under a minute 20 remaining, and Johnston breaks the huddle. They'll send one receiver left. That's Vinny Cresta. Split backs, or rather quarterback in the backfield with tailback Aiden Moore. Rutz lets that play clock go down, and now a timeout called by Johnston. We'll take a 1 minute break. 1 minute, 8 seconds remaining in the contest. 15-9. Johnston leading Dowling here in the fourth quarter. Back in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
The Christ Our Life Catholic Conference for Our Searching Souls, Friday and Saturday, September 26th and 27th at Wells Fargo Arena. Speakers include Father Donald Calloway, Sister Miriam James, Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, Mirjana Soldo, Magnus McFarland Barrow, Steve Angrisano, and Iowa Catholic Radio's John Leonetti. Tickets and information are available through ChristOurLifeIowa.com. The Christ Our Life Catholic Conference, September 26th and 27th at Wells Fargo Arena, ChristOurLifeIowa.com.
Thank you, Skeffington's Formal Wear, for sponsoring Dowling Catholic High School football. In business since 1951, Skeffington's Formal Wear offers quality service, style, and selection, providing tuxedos, suits, and casual groom attire for weddings, proms, and any other special occasion. Skeffington's Formal Wear, with convenient locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Davenport, Coralville, and Ankeny. All locations are family-owned and operated by members in their respective communities, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Well, it was 3rd down and 4 for Johnston, and they do a running play, and they give it to Mora, and Jack Meyer comes in and hits him in the backfield, loss on a play back to the 14. It'll bring up 4th and 4 for Johnston at the Dowling 14. And Johnston, we have a timeout called, and we're going to see the field goal unit, I believe, Matt Maindring, come in.
I think so too. And now you're looking at, is there a little magic somewhere? You get a block field goal, and Austin Klein got his hand on one earlier, so it's really, Coach Woodley right here. Is he going to stay with it on 4th down, keep the ball on the ground, or are you going to
Kicker's out there,
kicker
number 9.
out there, and
Nyron's out there, number 9.
You make the field goal and the game's over because now you're up by
2 scores.
2 scores.
Yep. So line of scrimmage is the Dowling 14, and Nick Nyron, a 6-foot senior, handles all the place kicking. He does everything but punt. He'll attempt a 30-yard field goal from the left hash, going left to right towards the south end zone. Dowling or put their block team in. Ball is down. Kick is high enough, long enough, and it's right through
he split the pipes.
And that'll do it. Johnston now extends their lead to 18-9 on a 30-yard field goal by Nyron. With 58 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, back in 1 minute, our score, Johnston 18, Dowling 9, here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Dowling Catholic Sports 365 is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, with 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling Catholic graduate, and Dr. Todd Piedig. The Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at Ashworth and 60th Street in West Des Moines, 515-440-4610, online at ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
CPCustomHomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
And back here at Johnston High School, our score now is Johnston 18, Dowling 9, as the Dragons go 6 plays, 29 yards, and Nick Nyron, a 30-yard field goal, extending Johnston's lead to 18-9. Here's the kickoff by Nyron, fielded by Louis Brooks across the 20, 25, still in his feet, 30, angling towards the far sideline and out of bounds at the 40-yard line, where the Dowling offense will take over 1st and 10. And Maroons are the first down, but 50 seconds remaining here, Matt Maindring, and just one timeout, or no timeouts now remaining for the Maroons.
Yeah, they get obviously get your work cut out for you. Get a score and get an onside kick, and trying to get 2 scores in 50 seconds. So, you take some shots, so we get a penalty, get a block in the back, so that's going to back them up even a little bit farther here.
The return is going to be coming back, as you mentioned, as 50 seconds remaining. A block in the back on the return will move the ball back to the 26-yard line, and that's where Dowling will start 1st and 10. And Maroons come out with 2 receivers on each side of the formation, and the quarterback is Steingraber. Jake looks to his right, fires it out, and the pass is caught up to the 30-yard line. It's short completion that time to number 19 for the Maroons, and that being Koa Thompson.
Koa Thompson on the catch. can't stop the clock, and so those short little passes are not going to end up getting very far. Oh, there. Get to the 50.
Nice pass up the midfield to Louis Brooks, and he catches it and goes out of bounds right in front of the Johnston bench.
Nice catch there by Louis. Nice pass there by Steingraber, and Louis came back to the football, and there's a lot of room in that secondary, but we got a bunch of yards right there.
Runs up the line of scrimmage. First down from their own 49, and they throw the pass out. It's caught by Mac Anderson, and he gets across the 40 of Johnston and finally drug down from behind at about the 34-yard line of Johnston.
And again, in high school football, the clock stops when at the first down, so they get a little time here.
Back to throw is Steingraber, fires the ball up, and pass is incomplete, knocked down. As two defensive backs and a receiver went up for that one. The pass is incomplete, and I believe it was Koa Thompson, the intended receiver. That stops the clock with 12 seconds remaining from the 34 of Johnston.
You got to take a shot in the end zone right here to give yourself a chance at two scores.
All right, back to throw is Steingraber. Looks right, throws right. He underthrew his receiver, incomplete. Pass way underthrown at about the 30-yard line. Mac Anderson, the intended receiver. Bring up third down and 10.
Now with 7 seconds to go, you got probably one play left, maybe two.
So the Maroons, who have won 13 in a row since the loss last year to the Valley Tigers, and coming off a win over Valley last week, 22-0, are going to be upset tonight. Back to throw Steingraber, the last play of the game, fires the ball near side, caught and out of bounds. Goes the receiver, Carson Brown, with 2 seconds remaining.
He was able to get some yardage there and give himself a chance to throw the ball into the end zone here, as this will be the last snap.
Spot the ball down right about the 25-yard line. It'll be 4th and 1.
Unless there's a defensive penalty, this will be the last snap of the game.
So Maroons trying to get their personnel in. They're going to flip-flop the field. The Maroons on the ball on the left hash. They go right to left. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Steingraber at quarterback. The tailback is Swager. Back to throw Steingraber on the snap. Fires it in the end zone. Looking for somebody. Looking for Koa Thompson. The pass is
touchdown.
Caught. Touchdown. Yeah. Koa Thompson on the final play of the game. And that makes the score 18-15. So Koa.
And I think they do have to do the extra point here.
And that may be true. And I'll tell you what, Maroons took the ball from their own 26 after the penalty. Marched it downfield, and Koa Thompson with the touchdown reception there, John Chido. No time left. That'll be, almost our final score, Johnny, 18-15. And they're not going to, I don't think they have to do the extra point, and they won't.
Oh.
Yep, the game is over, and Johnston with an 18-15 win to snap the Dowling 13-game winning streak. So congratulations to head coach Brian Woodley and the Johnston Dragons. They win it here at their place, 18-15 over Dowling Catholic.
Johnston came out in that first quarter and really established a presence at the line of scrimmage and did an outstanding job and showed their strength up front at the beginning of the ball game. And Dowling was never really able to recover after that first quarter. And you got to give credit to Johnston. They played a heck of a ball game.
Well, congratulations to the Dragons. They upset number 1 Dowling tonight. Final score, Johnston 18, Dowling 15. And we'll take a break and come back with our post-game activities alongside Matt Mandring. I'm Mark Amadale, John Chido on the Dowling sideline. And we'll come back with post-game activities from Johnston High School here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you, Dental Associates, for underwriting Dowling Catholic Sports 365. With over 40 years' experience, Dental Associates is a group dental practice with the mission of promoting optimum health and well-being to all patients, providing preventative, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry for the entire family. Message underwritten by Dr. Kenton Gleichman, Dr. Steve Karbaka, Dr. Christine Mulcahy, and Dr. Ben Nagel. Dental Associates, addressing your smile, needs, and dreams. Online at Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Chemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Chemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Chemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Chemin, using science to transform the world. Online at chemin.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio, KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel. Listen online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com or download the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
And we're back here at Johnston High School. Congratulations to the Dragons. A win tonight over Dowling as they upset number 1 Dowling, 18-15 the final score. And, Matt, the extra point was not needed to be attempted because in high school football it's basically a dead ball play. You either kick the point. If it's blocked, there's no return, so no need for the extra point. So Johnston wins it 18-15 over the Maroons to snap Dowling's winning streak that dated back to last year. 13 in a row by the Maroons, and it comes off a Dowling win last week over Valley. And here are the Johnston Dragons back in. Their record now 2-1, and Dowling falls to 2-1.
Yeah, you know, it's one thing with a young team, and you say that every year about Dowling as a young team. There's a lot of new starters out there, but, you know, they have to learn that after those big games, that next team's ready to give you their best shot. And that's, you know, when you're on top of the pile, everyone's going to bring their best game, and you got to be on your best game in and game out. And Dowling just misfired a few too many times tonight. A few too many mistakes.
We're going to look at give the statistics right now as we got to give this back to Coach Seifert as we appreciate him providing those statistics tonight. Again, our halftime score was Johnston 15, Dowling 9. The final score ended up being 18-15. Johnston with the win over the Maroons. Both teams now 2-1, and they will move on to next week. As for Johnston, they will be home next week against Ankeny Centennial, who, by the way, was getting beat at last report by the Waukee Warriors. Last report it was 17-7, Waukee leading Ankeny Centennial. For Dowling, they will host Waukee next Friday night. It'll be Dowling's homecoming as number 1 Dowling against 7th-ranked Waukee at Valley Stadium. We'll have the game here on Iowa Catholic Radio. So let's take a look at the statistics. Sure, I do that, and I just got Siri.
Uh-oh.
So
you got to talk to Siri and see what. Read the statistics to me, Siri.
Yeah, she's asking, "What can you help me with?"
Yeah.
We'll open up Seifert's tablet as perfect timing. Luckily, Coach Seifert's right here, and he did it. And thank you, Coach. So let's take a look at the statistics in this contest. Dowling with 359 yards of total offense. Johnston with 181. Maroons passed the ball for 277 yards tonight. Johnston with 46 yards. Maroons rushed the ball for 82 yards. Johnston rushed for 135 yards. Maroons were penalized 6 times for 55 yards. Johnston 3 penalties for 15 yards. Maroons with 17 first downs. Johnston with 11. Quarterback Jake Steingraber for the Maroons. 13 out of 19 passing, 190 yards and a touchdown and 1 interception. Jackson Smolik, 8 out of 17 passing, 87 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. For Johnston, their quarterback Jack Rutz, 5 out of 15 passing, 46 yards, and 1 interception on the evening. Leading rusher for Dowling, Zach Swager, 11 carries, 57 yards. Jake Steingraber, 4 carries, 22 yards. Blake Anderson had 2 carries for 5 yards for the Maroons. Adam Townsend, 2 carries for 5 yards. And Cam Middleton tonight, 3 carries, -4 yards. For Johnston, their leading rusher was Aiden Moore, their backup tailback, 16 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. And quarterback Jack Rutz, their second leading ball carrier, 7 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Blake Tubbs, 12 carries, 12 yards. Also out there, Michael Foldis, with 5 carries for 9 yards. And their tight end, Tyler Moore, 1 carry for -7 yards. The leading receiver for the Maroons was Mac Anderson, 9 catches, 124 yards on the evening. Louis Brooks, 5 catches for 83 yards. Koa Thompson, 2 catches, 29 yards, and the late touchdown for the Maroons. Carson Brown, three catches for 27 yards, and Zach Swager, 1 catch for 10 yards. Jalen Thompson, the Dowling tight end, 1 catch for 4 yards. Leading receiver for Johnston was the only guy who caught the football tonight. 5 catches, 46 yards for Tyler Moore, their outstanding tight end, averaging 9.2 yards a catch. So that is the tail of the tape tonight, as Dowling with 359 yards of total offense, Johnston 181. But the scoreboard says otherwise. Johnston 18, Dowling 15, the final. And the Maroons have their 13-game winning streak snapped here on a damp, miserable night here at Johnston, but it's bright and sunny in that Dragon locker room with head coach Brian Woodley.
Yeah, they deserve it. They outplayed the Maroons tonight, and you can't, you look at the yardage and such a discrepancy. Double the yardage for the Maroons, but the turnovers were the difference, and giving Johnston those opportunities. You can't do that because in 4A football, it's a very competitive league, and no matter who you're playing up here, it's going to cost you.
Yes, it did, and the Maroons got caught tonight. Congratulations to Johnston and Brian Woodley as the Dragons improved their record to 2-1. Dowling falls to 2-1. We'll continue our post-game show along with Matt Mandry. I'm Mark Hamadale. We'll catch up with John Chido, who's in the press box now, and we'll have final thoughts when we return here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts at the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
Thank you, Skeffington's Formal Wear, for sponsoring Dowling Catholic High School football. In business since 1951, Skeffington's Formal Wear offers quality service, style, and selection, providing tuxedos, suits, and casual groom attire for weddings, proms, and any other special occasion. Skeffington's Formal Wear, with convenient locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Davenport, Coralville, and Ankeny. All locations are family-owned and operated by members in their respective communities, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
And we're back here at Johnston High School. Congratulations to head coach Brian Woodley in his 19th year, knocking off the Dowling Maroons tonight. Johnston 18, Dowling 15. Game you heard on Iowa Catholic Radio. So number 1 goes down for the second week in a row in Class 4A. Alongside Matt Mandry, I'm Mark Amadale. John Chido brings his microphone up here. We're going to visit with him in a little bit. Let's catch you up with some other scores. Dowling's opponent next week is Waukee for homecoming, and right now Waukee final in Ankeny, Waukee 24, the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars 7. And the other Ankeny team, number 8 Ankeny, on the road at undefeated Fort Dodge, and Ankeny leading Fort Dodge 45-18 in the fourth quarter. So there's a couple scores to pass along. And, Johnny, you were down that Dowling sideline, and, boy, it was a little bit different than last week to this week. A lot of that has to do with the opponent. And the Johnston Dragons came out ready. They capitalized on what Dowling did and didn't do in the first half. They led at halftime by the score of 15-9, and they held on in the second half. Late score by Dowling with no time left, but you got to tip your hat to your opponent, and that's the Johnston Dragons.
Yeah, and Johnson, the first series of the game, they went marched right down the field, and they punched it in for the touchdown. And the level of enthusiasm on the Dowling sideline was night and day compared to last week, and that had a lot to do with it. But you credit a Johnston team, which is a good, well-coached, good football team. They come down and they put points on the board to start the game, and then the miscues started to happen. And when you're in a ball game with a team like this and you have miscues after miscues, and you have opportunities to even come back and still with a chance to win the game, and you have another miscue, and it's hard. That's tough.
You can only overcome so much,
yeah.
And you hope you have an opportunity. The Maroons had plenty of opportunities
Absolutely.
in the second half, but there's only so much you can overcome. And, Matt, that goes back to turnovers, some untimely interceptions by the Maroons. I don't think they lost the ball in a fumble tonight, if I look back at my score sheet, but interceptions capitalized on by Johnston. Then the first miscue, the safety for the Maroons, they're already down 8-0. Johnston scores, misses the extra point. Maroons come down, and they punt on fourth down, and they have to fall on the ball on a bad snap in the end zone.
Yeah, and dug themselves a hole. But in the end, they gave themselves an opportunity. I mean, we're down on the 2-yard line, 2-yard line with a great catch by Mac Anderson down there. And, you know, and the defense did its job. It shut Waukee out essentially until the end of the first, or, you know, after the first quarter, and then until the end of the fourth quarter here. And the offense moved the ball at times. It just couldn't get that, you know, get that consistency in there to get it in, and those turnovers are tough to overcome.
The one stop where the Dowling defense gave up was a 4th and 3 for Johnston, and Rutz kept the football. The Johnston quarterback went around the right side and kind of went through traffic down the near sideline and went in for a 37-yard touchdown run on a 4th and 3 from the Dowling 37. That might have been one of the backbreakers, but Maroons had opportunities to capitalize on that and didn't happen. And, you know, just – you know, timely opportunities that didn't happen for the Maroons that happened for Johnston, Johnny.
Yeah, and we talked about Dowling needed to have a playmaker step up, make a play. Austin Klein makes a great interception.
Yeah.
Then 3 plays later, Jackson Smolik on a big 3rd down and 13, 3rd and 14, rolling away from the receiver and making a throw across the field, and Mac Anderson going to high point the ball and making a great catch to get it inside the 2, and then
didn't punch it in.
Then they couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you see flashes of things that might be able to make this team go. And then there was a flash, I think, in the second half. You know, they started out and ran the ball well, because in the first half they couldn't move the ball on the ground.
No.
And in the second half they came out and had a series there where they moved the ball well on the ground, and then after that Johnston defensive front really took over and shut it down again.
And then how many 4th and 1s or 4th and short, even 3rd and shorts that Dowling got stuffed and it turned into a loss? That was big momentum.
So that goes back to what Coach said, I think, John. You know, Dowling's 55. Pettis does a great job. Well, they're 55. Kennan, tremendous job. He had 11 tackles come in, 6'2", 265, and a senior. And Coach Woodley talked about him. I said, what about your lineman? He said, Kennan, 55, just like you're 55. And he was exactly right. And those were right. Some of those things didn't happen. And Moore, Godwin, did a nice job at linebackers. I mean, they were feeding off that. And then Helgeson with a couple of interceptions.
Yeah. And you missed Jake Olson up front. You know,
as the Dowling center,
you know, the senior center, and that center is your captain down there. You know, he's the one that's controlling everything at the line of scrimmage, and they do miss him, and they'll be excited to get him back, I think, next
Lynch,
week.
too, being able to set the edge to be able to run that football.
Yeah. So, and Jalen, you know, he's a young tight end, and he's coming along really, really well. With that blocking is the thing that's going to take him a little while to get figured out, and so there's some growth to happen. And you know what? I think every year there's been one loss. Right?
Yes. Yeah. It's been like that since Mark's son Nico. That's the last undefeated team. We were talking about this the other day.
That's true. You always have a setback.
15.
And that normally gets the attention of the team, and I'm sure Coach did that tonight. That's why we're not talking to him right now. I think he's doing some extra coaching when the game's over, which rightly so. But what was I going to mention? The tight ends tonight, Jalen Thompson for Dowling had a couple catches, but he got shaken up. But the Moore kid, Tyler Moore, they had 2 Moores on the team. Tyler was the tight end for Johnston. He had a tremendous night. You can see they featured him. He took a lick early in the first half and came back. So both tight ends were a big part of these offense tonight, and obviously Johnston executed more so than Dowling.
There's no doubt. And I kept looking up at the scoreboard, and the 2-point safety that was given up by the offense. Then the bad the kick put Johnston with great field position to start that, and Dowling's field position the whole first half was they were playing from behind the chains. They had terrible field position, but Johnston put them in that situation by playing good defensive football, good sound football for that.
Well, hats off to Brian Woodley and the Johnston Dragons. Coach Woodley in his 19th year here at Johnston, knocking off Dowling tonight, and that'll be one that you can put on that bulletin board. You know, knocking off the number 1 team in the state after they just got done beating Valley. That's a feather in his cap, and tip to the Johnston Dragons tonight. And I'll tell you what, next week, it's as Matt and I were talking about, Johnny, you know this as a parent, it's homecoming week, and that's full of distractions, although limited this this year.
There's not many events going on.
Not many events.
And then you have Waukee to boot, which is going to be a tough ball game.
But what gets your attention is Waukee, and the Waukee Warriors come to Valley Stadium next Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff, a top 10 matchup. And we'll see how this Dowling team responds, Johnny.
Well, as a coaching staff, you're going to find out what your team is made of. And when you have adversity, and you always talk about you're always going to have adversity, is how you get yourself back up on your feet and how do you perform the next play, the next game is really going to tell you what type of team the 2020 Dowling Maroons are.
All right, Johnny, thanks for all your help on the sidelines tonight, you and Mr. Scigliano. Good luck on the golf course tomorrow and this weekend, and stay dry out there. I know that this is going to stop. They're going to stop raining sometime tomorrow, Sunday for sure. Mr. Maindring, what's 50-50 tomorrow with rain on your tee time?
Yeah, well, if it's raining, I'm not going. That's it.
And you already got the tip from Mr. Shido. He's
right.
He's a veteran there at Blank Golf Course. So
it's my first time out there. I'm excited to see it.
It's a fun course. It's a lot of water. They've taken out a lot of sand traps, but Saturday nights Mark has invented this couple golf night because he bought his wife Sherry new clubs, and she's a good golfer. So now my wife and I are doing it as well, and it's been entertaining. But
thanks for the invite, Skiggs.
Now you have two worlds colliding, so it's a little bit different.
That's a Blank?
Yeah, that's a Blank.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my wife and I are going out with my son and his date. So we'll
awesome.
See.
Oh,
awesome. Yeah, we'll see but she's probably the best golfer of the whole bunch. So
did Spirit Lake win? Because
Spirit Lake won.
See, that'll be a great environment, and you'll be walking around. It's like, oh no, I come back to the radio booth and we lose. And now we're going to have this Twitter war. We're going to bring back Mark Coulier, and it's like he's halfway to Minnesota right now visiting his daughter.
The Packers win on Sunday.
Oh, there we go.
Speaking of fantasy football, I have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback.
There you go.
And I hope he performs a lot better than he did the last 6 games of the season last year, point-wise.
I think you got a good pick right there.
Yeah, I think you're all right. Well, gentlemen, thank you. I know we're going to have to move this along, but we'll talk to you next Friday night. Dowling and Waukee, Valley Stadium, be there. We'll be simulcast, so Mr. Maynard, we got to kind of dress up in case we're on TV. Got to figure that out. We've been in the COVID thing in the Valley press box, so we're kind of distancing, so no extra camera. Doesn't make any difference. They find Johnny on the sideline, so they'll find him. But
I tell you what, being from home last week and watching the game on TV, what a sharp picture. I mean, it looks it's professionally done. It's nice.
Pete Tarpey and CISN.TV.
Over 26,000 views last week.
Over 26,000.
That's amazing.
And that's not even including our radio folks. But we'll do the simulcast next week, Dowling and Waukee. So we look forward to that. And guys, we'll move on. Maroons are 2-1. They've had interesting 3 games. It's hard to believe it's a 7-game regular season, Matt.
Yeah, I know,
not 9, and we're just over a third. How do you math people figure that out? We're just over a third in the season. Next week we'll be over halfway point of the season. How about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy run.
Certainly will. Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have fun. Enjoy the weekend.
You bet. You too.
My broadcast partners, John Chido and Matt Maindring, with the call tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio, and that'll wrap things up from the Johnston Stadium. Again, the final. It was Johnston 18, Dowling 15. The Maroons' 13-game winning streak but snapped. And that'll wrap up our broadcast tonight. I want to thank Jeff Piggott, who's back at the Iowa Catholic Radio studios, for all he does. Thanks to him. Athletic Director Tom Wilson and the head football coach at Dowling. I appreciate all his work as he joined us in the pregame show. Mary Pick, Michael Connor, and all the folks back at Dowling. Jared Seifert, our providing our game stats tonight. Our halftime guest, Mr. Matt Maindring, principal of Dowling. I want to thank him for his input and talking about what's going on at Dowling. And reminder, our next game is next Friday night. It's number 7 Dowling, or number 7 Waukee at number 1 Dowling. Those rankings will change a little bit after tonight. It'll be Dowling's homecoming. Join us for the broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Our thanks to Brian Woodley, the head football coach here at Johnston, and their athletic director, Josh Toby, and the folks behind the scenes, Randy Sparks, and all his crew here at Johnston for getting us set up and on the air. Once again, the final tonight, Dowling loses 18-15 to Johnston. And for my broadcast partners, Matt Maindring and John Chido, I'm Mark Amadale. Thanks for joining us for another week of Dowling Catholic football. And we'll be on the air next Friday night, 6:30. It's Dowling and Waukee and the Maroons homecoming. Again, the final, Johnston 18, Dowling 15. The final here from Johnston High School. Have a safe and blessed, faith-filled evening.
Coverage of Dowling Catholic High School football is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Kemin, Mercy One, Skeffington's Formal Wear, and Bozen the Florist. Please support the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The proceeding has been a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.